Muy buenas chavales, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a otro vídeo para el canal. ¿Qué tal estáis chicos? ¿Qué tal ese fin de semana? Espero que hayáis tenido un fin de semana de puta madre, descansando ahí, relax, con la gente que queréis y sabéis, hayáis estado trabajando, perdón, que acabo de comer arroz con pollo con curry y madre mía, tengo el arroz aquí. Y nada, eso sí, habéis trabajado, pues espero que lo hayáis pasado lo menos peor posible, se podría decir, porque trabajar a nadie nos gusta prácticamente, pero bueno, es lo que hay que hacer para llevarse el pan a la boca. Y nada, eso, que os vayáis a tener un buen fin de semana y nada, empezamos la semanita bien fuerte con DBDLEAGUE, ¿vale? Esta semana seguramente eso suba un vídeo, ¿vale? El miércoles va a haber Boogie Liga, ¿vale? Y el viernes va a haber vídeo del bot, ¿vale? para que lo sepáis. Que el viernes habrá vídeo del bot, tampoco voy a en plan ocultarlo, sino bueno, lo habrá. Quienes me conozcan y tal, me imagino que sabrán de qué voy a hacer el vídeo, pero bueno, yo lo dejaré ahí, es del bot y ya está. Así que nada, la única partida de DBD que tenemos esta semana es un pedazo de partido, ¿vale? Pedazo de partido, es la única, pero es un pedazo de partido. ARIANDEL, segundo puesto en la DBD League, y INVICTUS, tercer puesto en la DBD League a estas alturas, ¿vale? El torneo, me refiero, bueno, a estas alturas de la liga. Dos equipazos donde los haya, son bestias literalmente los que hay aquí. Está el equipo ARIANDEL, Hardwell, Lemagi, Swatter, Bubo de Killer, también tienen a este chico que no me acuerdo cómo se llamaba, tienen otro main killer, y Invictus con Nightlight, con Pedro, en plan, son bestias, literalmente. Entonces, nada, vamos a... Por cierto, que me he enterado ahora. Son 4 rondas, o sea, me refiero, si un equipo le mete 3-0 a otro, pues acaba el partido, entenderme. Pero son 4 rondas, pase lo que pase, en plan, por eso puede quedar 2-2. ¿Por qué Ariandel va ganando Invictus? Porque Ariandel ha ganado todas sus partidas, ¿vale? Todas sus partidas. Y Invictus ha ganado todo menos un empate. Tuvo un empate. Entonces, por eso Ariandel va en segundo puesto, Invictus va en tercer puesto. Así que eso, se puede empatar. Si, por ejemplo, queda 2-2, pues empate, básicamente. Se reparten los puntos, me imagino, y ya está. Y nada, si gana un equipo 3-0 al otro o 3-1, pues obviamente gana ese equipo. Pero sepáis que son 4 rondas, ¿vale? No son 5 en plan 3-2, no, máximo 4 rondas. Así que nada, espero ver 4 rondas en este partidazo, porque ya os digo, más igualado no se puede estar. Y yo, obviamente, mi favorito es Invictus, es que tienen a Nile y a Pedro, son los dos mejores killers que existen, sin menospreciar, obviamente, el equipo de Ariander, que son bestias literalmente. Y nada, empezamos con artista. Nightlight, para mí, la mejor artista del mundo, por eso obviamente está él jugando y no Pedro. Y yo lo que tengo de artista lo he aprendido de él. Y nada, vamos a ver qué tal lo hace. Va con el lado donde los cuervos cuando da su suplente y está con otro, se esparcen, que no es hablar, y este se le recarga, ¿vale? Yo juego con estos dos, para mí son los mejores addons que hay. Incluso mejor que el de tener 4 cuervos. A mí el de 4 cuervos no me gusta, con 3 es suficiente. Y intervención corrupta, agitación antiflagelante. Esto viene muy bien, la agitación tanto llega a antiflagelante como para poder, digamos, tú colgar donde te salga de los cojones. O sea, eso está de putísima madre para poder controlar los motores y la partida. Y brutalidad veloz, porque es verdad que la artista, por regla general, en competitivo suele dar más M1s, ¿vale? Quizá en bajo elo, contra la gente malilla, públicas, pues se dan muchos cuervos, ¿vale? Pero por regla general, contra gente muy buena, das más M1s, ¿vale? Entonces brutalidad veloz le viene muy bien. Por los cuervos utilizas para, digamos, que eviten buenas posiciones supervivientes. Así que nada, vamos para allá.
Tier killer we're going to see here. We're loading in with the one, the only Nightlight.
Ya tira un cuervo y da uno, o sea, wow.
Shooting birds across the map, finds Swatter, down by Shack.
Si os fijáis, ha apuntado a las taquillas. Brutal Nightlight, pero Swatter está muy rápido, pero Nightlight apuntó con un cuervo a la taquilla y no ha dado por nada, por el pelo del coño de una monja.
That was almost...
That was too close.
That was a locker up, I think, right? Maybe not, I'm not sure. Wow. And we're going to take chase here on Hartwell, rocking our ace today. Sets up an angle.
Muy bien ahí, Hardwell. Ese cuervo no te va a servir para mucho porque pierdes completamente, cuando cruzas por la ventana, pierdes completamente la posición de superviviente y es jugársela mucho. Yo hubiese puesto un cuervo mejor en el pasillo, en plan aquí, mirad.
Wow.
En plan, es Nightlight, es el maestro, ¿vale? Pero aún así comete errores.
And we're going to take chase here.
Yo había puesto un cuervo aquí, por aquí. y entonces le encierro hacia la derecha. Si lo pones aquí se va hacia la izquierda y va a tener, o sea que yo prefiero tener uno aquí, ir por la izquierda y tal jugármela, pero que siga la misma estructura, ¿sabes?
On Hartwell, rocking our ace today. Sets up an angled bird, but yep, Hardwell's just going to decide to leave the loop and come play this nice rock. How is Shaq situated? Looks like we got the window to the left, pallet straight across, and we are going to see our first M.
Vale, el hit por se protegió con el pad del sac, así que va a poder llegar hasta el centro del mapa sin problema.
One come through and Shaq pallet, that's huge.
Gracias por que haya música.
Brian, what do you think about that icon on the right side of the screen? Do you like that pick?
No. I personally don't like that perk, but I do think Nightlight is probably onto something running.
¿Sabéis por qué no va a la otra zona? Porque está reparando a sus compañeros. Entonces prefiere caer aquí y que sus compañeros de otra zona puedan reparar con tranquilidad, ¿vale? Básicamente.
Brutality.
Pero no llega, ¿vale? Se ha cometido aquí un error de distancia.
Here, Artist is a killer that will almost never generate Bloodlust, and that is going to be the first down there. Now, he didn't have the haste active when he got the down, but it certainly helped him as he was going away from Shaq there. I think it was smart of Nightlight to just not break Shaq pallet.
Claro, ha sido una persecución rápida, tiene el sac, tendrá aquí un 3 casi seguro, le conviene mucho ir al sac. Aunque pierda el gancho flagelante, le conviene, porque solamente va a llegar al segundo stage, aquí el señor Hardware, le sacarán, irá a por él y luego utilizar el gancho flagelante, casi seguro, cuando sea su cuelga de morir.
Reading that Hardwell just did not care about that Shaq area, and that's going to be a hit taken by LeMagic.
Muy bien, LeMagic. Pues llegar al sótano y Hardwell estaría mega jodido.
Recognizing that Nightlight wants to go basement and just coming in to stop it. This is going to force Nightlight to take a hook outside of the basement that isn't a pain resonance. So, honestly, huge play by LeMagic. That was a completely worth
muy bien, LeMagic, muy bien.
Hit tank.
That could have been
es muy worth it el tanqueo es.
Really bad for Ariandel there. If you get a basement, I literally.
Cuando Cristo suponiendo contra el artista, tienes que ir mirando bastante para atrás para ver los cuervos cuando los pone hacia dónde miran. Entonces, si por ejemplo veis que los cuervos miran hacia allá, vosotros subís hacia la derecha, por ejemplo. Si veis que los cuervos miran un poquito para hacia la derecha, pum, os veis para la izquierda. Por eso es muy importante estar mirando para atrás contra el artista, ¿vale? Para poder esquivarlos. Porque una vez los pone, nada, están medio segundo en el mapa o un segundo y ya está. Y se difuminan, no se pueden ver.
Saw a match like this. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, where we had an instant hook in the basement before much gen progress had come through at all. Almost the exact same situation here, where the survivors are still crossing across the map, and then basically they camped the death in basement, and it led to a really strong killer result. We did see the unhook come through on Hardwell, and we're trying to continue our tunnel out here by Shaq. Hardwell's going to have to go edge map here to dodge this bird. And yep, Nightlight smartly figures that they're just going to leave the loop.
Qué buena, brutal ese cuervo. Wow, a punto de perderlo, esta.
We don't have some help here, but the bird comes in the last second, and Hardwell goes down.
Exagerado ese cuervo ha sido Dios.
We're going to see another M1 here on Slaughter as well. We do see our first gen pop across the map. It is very interesting.
Muy buena, si os fijáis, se mete aquí para que no le vea los cuervos en plan súper bien. Se mete letal y tira los cuervos.
Our generators on
las paredes, me refiero.
This side of the map are pretty well spread out. They're very mid-map as opposed
to
deep in this corner. That might end up working.
El problema de este mapa contra artista, para artista me refiero, es que hay muchas taquillas, muchas taquillas. Entonces es fácil quitarse los cuervos, básicamente.
In favor of our survivors here.
And that was a great bird from Nightlight. That bird was about half a second away from being dispelled just by time. But Hardwell just runs right back into it, and Nightlight there to take advantage for a second down. And you mentioned the gens, Andrew. This is really interesting. There is sort of a 3-gen on bottom side, but it's not very good. I think this is probably about the furthest away that I would even consider a 3-gen here on Azerov's resting place. Definitely had a much better gen setup on the top side of the map, but instead has been entirely playing on the bottom side this game, as he sees somebody in the distance going over towards that right side gen. Definitely wants to protect this triangle. Got the hook in the basement with Hardwell, but I think there's definitely room here for the survivors to attack it, as looks like he's going for a slingshot. And it's not gonna hit there. Looks like LeMagic saw that coming, or Nightlight missed, I'm not sure.
So we have eyes on all 3 of our survivors, because we have one on that generator. We're setting up a down the hill bird here. Are we getting is this a head-on play? This must be a head-on play, right?
Could this be a
No entiendo esta jugada.
Head on save. He's gonna pull Hardwell out, the one who is dead
Con el de frente del compañero,
on
quizá.
hook. Swatter
It'll
in the
happen
locker
if
right
you don't
next
get out
to
of the
him.
way in time.
Lo ha fallado de timing. Pero sí, era el de frente.
Swings away from it though. Hardwell is dead.
Claro, porque ahí es un win-win para supervivientes, pero ha fallado. ¿Por qué? Porque si va por el que tunelea, le mete el de frente, el compañero, entonces le salva. Y si va a por el otro, simplemente se no muere, no pasa nada. El que muere se va y ya está, y sale worth it. Pero suerte la ha cagado.
Hardwell is dead at 3 gens, and they just got started on the 2 generators on
Esto es muy buena jugada para Análisis. Han cometido un par de errores el equipo de Ariandel.
this side. Nightlight's got a lot of room. We didn't get the pain res on Hardwell, but I don't think that really matters at this point. Nightlight's got a lot of room to put
Por aquí no hay taquillas, Por aquí sí que no hay
some
taquillas.
pressure on the remaining three survivors.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a really good attempt from Swatter. I mean, what else can you do in that situation when there are just birds stacked up on the basement stairs like that? You know that Hardwell is not getting out of there if he goes out of basement the normal way. So that was really all Ariandel could try there. Still results in the kill, but I mean, at least they bought a little bit of time, and now they're going to be working on the gens again as the cross-map birds are going to miss the magic. Nightlight now in chase at this jungle gym tile here with Bubbo. Makes it back to the window here. Bubbo playing this a little bit greedily. Nightlight birding up the window, trying to see if he can catch Bubbo going across, and he misses again. It's a very hard bird to hit without the baby shoes add-on, which is banned. But the M1
El motor se lo hacen. Si este motor se lo hacen, va a estar jodido en el
is going to come through. Bubbo able to leave the loop with that injury. And you got to imagine he's just going to be going straight to topside to get healed.
Yeah, so that, I mean, this is what happens on a map like Azeroth's Resting Place, any of these eye-shaped maps similar to Suffle Pit, where basically all that's going to happen from now on, the moment you take a hit, you're going to run all the way.
¡Oh, brutal! ¡Oh, menudo! Está muy bien. Metes un cuervecito, lo dejas muy cerca, te alejas y entonces en lo que llega un cuervo llegan nosotros. Es como hacer el doble de con la cazadora, pero obviamente con la cazadora es mucho más difícil.
Down the other end of the...
Brutal esta jugada.
Came back to work on the
Esto es muy difícil de salvar. Yo lo he intentado, pero es muy difícil de salvar.
generator and gets sniped with the slingshots.
Amazing punish there, calling out the greed from Bubbo and setting up the slingshot towards this generator.
El otro está reparando aquí.
And yeah, that's going to result in a down inside the 3 gen. I mean, that's why we love to watch Nightlight, right, Andrew? That was
Wow.
Ahora sí que debería usar un macho flagelante, por Dios.
a incredible slingshot there. What good presence of mind to be checking on the other generators while he was at a different one. And yeah, Bubbo pays the price there. That was a great clip.
Great
Como el de Magic que he herido, están mega jodidos, ¿vale? Porque en otra parte del mapa herido reparando.
job. Like, honestly, in my head, I'm thinking you probably shoot birds down. I mean, this is why I'm not Nightlight. You're probably shooting birds down the other end of the map, trying to pick off Swatter or Bubbo, who are healing down the other end. We've got the severed hands add-on, so you hit one, you hit both of them with birds. Maybe you get a follow-up bird, etc. But nope, Nightlight definitely called out the greed. Now the survivors are in this situation, and I like what's happening here. Those 2 generators down the other side of the map are
Ese es el motor de suéter, ¿vale?
kind of gimme generators. You can get them whenever you want. They need to get them done. Because if something snowballs now, let's say Swatter gets picked off
Se la ha comido entera aquí, Nalite. Error de Nalite.
somehow, and you end up with 2 on the ground, you have to make this a 4K1 if you're going to get 4K. You can't leave any more generators on the map. We are
Aquí un poquito la Magic lento de reflejos.
going to see a down on the Magic here,
Pero bueno, es un par de jodidos, las cosas como son.
and I think Nightlight wants a little bit more. Nightlight probably assumes Swatter is over by that generator. Maybe we're just going to bird them up, take another pain res. I think that's what might be happening here. We're looking for more, though. Oh, we're looking for shots.
Yeah, slingshot there onto that other generator on top side. Not going to find anything, though. So Survivor's probably resetting safely elsewhere on the top side. Actually, I'm going to see
Tenía linterna esta, hay que tener mucho cuidado.
Swatter there. Not sure why he wasn't revealed by Killer
Se la ha jugado porque tenía linterna el suéter.
Instinct on those birds, but with the agitation in play, Nightlight's going to carry the magic all the way back into the 3 gen. So it was actually a pretty good play by
Otro gancho flagelante, perfecto.
the magic. Had great timing on that unhook, was able to deny Nightlight from using any birds. Just wasn't able to win the 50 at that tile in the middle of the map and gets carried right back into the 3 gen.
They are being very, like they need to be, but they being Ariandel. Ariandel is being very, very gutsy or risky or greedy. It all depends on how it plays out, what word you use to describe them. That was Bubble working on this deep gen injured, while LeMagic was down on the ground at mid-map. They're
Llega a dar y se llega la hostia.
really trying to
Como llega a dar en tu win, básicamente.
force this generator by the hook. They were really trying to force it done, get it out of the way, and be able to get the last generator done. And
Y preguntaréis, oye Borja, ¿por qué tira solo uno? O sea, tira primero uno, porque hay que tirar uno y luego ¿por qué no tira, en vez de 3, solo tira uno? Porque hay taquillas cercanas y si tú pierdes tiempo en tirar 3, a lo mejor simplemente llega a la taquilla y pierdes los cuervos.
Nightlight came back, hooked near it, Pain Res came through, and there wasn't quite enough. I don't know if are we seeing Bubble there? I'm not able to see Nightlight.
No me voy a poder rescatar,
His head's on a swivel, looking back and forth. Maybe he doesn't have eyes, and now is looking to see if they're on either of the gens. Yeah, I think that's what's
El que está en el gancho dirá, oye, está apuntando hasta el motor, está apuntando al motor de 3, al motor de 1.
going on there. And then you got to assume maybe
Y aún así se os comen, ¿eh?
Swatter. Where did that bird hit? Oh, it's over in that corner there. Okay. You got to imagine Swatter is either setting up for the
Meter uno es muy difícil, es muy difícil.
save, or probably just finishing that last generator. I think the survivors might let this might let LeMagic go to second here. They're both injured. They can't come in for the save.
Eso me parece brutal, que puedas campear a la par que controlar los generadores.
Swatter actually seen in the middle of the map here. He's not on the gen, Andrew. This is really interesting here for Ariandel. I mean, if I were them, I would be accepting the 4K1 right now and finishing that gen on the top side of the map. But
se tienen que resetear, ¿vale? Si quieren hacer el descuento, si no imposible.
you never know. They might actually have it 99.
True, because you are dealing. They know about Pain Res, right? And the only Pain Res left is Swatter. If Swatter does get Pain Res, it's a heck of a lot better to take damage on the top side gen by the across the map.
Es que el Swatter no está haciendo nada,
Than it is on any of these ones here. We do see Killer Instinct here on Bubble again. I wonder how much pressure, how much.
A ver, yo esta segunda partida ya me rendiría, en plan, se va a hacer 4K, sácale este motor y puntuáis 4 motores y ya está, porque 5 motores va a ser literalmente imposible.
Progress is on that generator. Bubble has not really been able to sit there on it for very long, seeing as the birds come flying at their head every 5 seconds.
Here comes another slingshot here from Nightlight, and it's out of the view of Swatter, so the comm is probably not going to come
Os va a aguantar hasta el final, ya veréis. Hasta el final os va a aguantar.
in, that there's going to be potential damage here. He's taking care to set those birds up behind the wall, waiting until the very
¿Veis? Si es que parece que los he criado, pero es que me los conozco ya de pe a pa.
last second to throw them, and Bubbo is just not there. So, would have been a great play there for Nightlight. A great idea, honestly. And
Bubble could be sneaking around right now, though.
yeah, Bubbo might be sneaking in for the unhook. No, he's actually going to finish
Qué pedazo de F, qué pedazo de F. Si ya da la sketch perfecta, creo que lo hace.
that gen. Oh, he blew up the gen! No!
8%! And LeMagic is dead. So Swatter's got to get down and get that gen done right now.
Brutal, es que no te puedes esperar esos perks.
Oh, and Bubbo just eats a bird after blowing up the gen. There's so much.
Veis, yo por eso hubiese hecho el motor de allá, puntúo 4 motores y chimpú, porque vais a puntuar 3, que eso básicamente es partida para Invictus.
Progress left on it now, Andrew.
They
This is
didn't
so
get the
sad.
gen done.
They're gonna get
The far
4K
gen. It's 4K2. They didn't get the gen done the other side of the map. Oh, this is a huge upset. This was a 4K. This was a given 4K1. Swatter could have just sat on the top side gen, cracked,
¿Veis el de frente?
and the same result would have happened. LeMagic dies on hook.
Yeah, now Swatter has to somehow loop all the way around to pick up Bubbo, and then one of them has to get out of
Aquí en este pared estás mega muerto. Te ponen un cuerpo en un lado y ya está. Jodido.
there. I just don't think that's possible here. Not at this
No, hay error de Nelly.
edge map tile. Nice dodge there from Swatter. Gonna make it around the rock one more time. He's gonna hold W. I don't think he can make it anywhere though, as yeah,
Claro, es que en este palet estás muerto. Porque ha fallado Nelly, pero estás muerto.
he is going to go down there. Two
It's scared. Must not need to go save LeMagic
Pues ya está.
Nightlight from actually
again. You don't. Is
Ahí está, pues 4K. Brutal. O sea, brutal como juega Nelly. Brutal. O sea, increíbles decisiones y las mecánicas. O sea, una barbaridad. Y la han cagado en caer cerca de sótano. Yo ahí. El primer error que fue Hardware, ¿verdad? Sí, fue Hardware. Que darse la vuelta para irse a esa zona del mapa, para que pudiese para sus compañeros en otro mapa, para mí creo que fue más error que acierto. O sea, la intención era buena, pero ha sido más error que acierto. La ha colgado en el sótano. Y no ha sido en el sótano gracias a que vino el Magic. No vino el Magic, creo que a darle una mano. pero luego lo colgó en el sótano de nuevo y ya a partir de ahí partía medio jodida. Luego ha colgado un tío ahí en una esquinita, 2 pavos heridos, no pueden hacer nada. Nada. No han hecho ese motor más porque no le ha dado skill check perfecto. Fue bubo. Pues no ha dado skill check perfecto, literalmente. Lo falló y adiós. Bueno, pues la siguiente partidita, vamos a ver. Segundito el 29. Vamos, una clase magistral de Análisis.
Welcome back, everybody.
No me he fijado en los porcentajes del artista.
We've got iPick for Ariandel on the artist. iPick Scott.
Vale, mismos shadows. Anda, interesante, va con esta. Esta básicamente lo que hace se llama gancho flagelante, o psique doloroso en español. Y lo que hace es que cuando colgas a un suplente en un gancho blanco y lo bajan, es como si tuviese carnicero chapucero, ¿vale? El mismo efecto. Y aparte, cuando le curan, o sea, van a tardar más tiempo en curarle, básicamente. Y cuando le curan, ese suplente va a reparar, creo que era un 16% más lento hasta que lo vuelva a seguir. O sea, es una per muy buena para no tunelear, ¿vale? Entonces, aquí Pick, si piensa en no tunelear, va a tener una partida difícil, ¿eh? Yo tunelearía al principio para intentar ganarla y ya luego a lo mejor jugando con tus suplentes no tunelear. Pero vamos, no tuneas desde el principio, cuando el otro equipo te ha cascado otros motores, se la está jugando muchísimo.
Pretty hefty win condition here. We need to see a 4K3 for the win, 4K2
Y Pick muy buen killer, muy bueno.
for the tie. We have the
Pensaba que iba a jugar Búho, sinceramente.
survivors of Invictus, Dan, Spitz, Pedro, and Kexo. Already, iPick is having a rougher start than Nightlight. Nightlight hit the very first bird, so iPick is still trying to find where these survivors are. A little bit more of a standard build, I'd say, Pryon. Couple of Scourge hooks hanging out. I like it.
Yep, he's got the perfect corrupt intervention split. He's got 4 gens on the bottom side. Honestly,
No los encuentro.
what you do, this is what you want to see if you're playing the artist on this map.
Allí creo que han subido cuerpos.
But like you said, iPick has a monumental win condition here, and it is just made even worse when you look at the survivors he's staring down. Got Pedro,
Aquí, ¿habéis visto cuervos?
Dan, Spitz, and Kexo, all incredible players here, and he's already going to have to take this first chase at the shack with the pallet down. Not what you want to be doing,
Yo habría apuntado a Pedro, sinceramente.
as these survivors not going to take that first hit easily, as they immediately throw the shack pallet and dodge out on those birds.
Very interesting there. Looked like iPick might have been going for the other survivor that was in there. I think it was Dan maybe. Didn't very easy to dodge. I believe it was Kexo had the bird on them, and it was very
Ahí era obvio, izquierda, hay que aguantar un poquito.
easy to dodge there. We are going to chase Spitz down towards the uncorrupted generators, back down towards the main side of the map, main building side of the map. And yeah, this is already. I mean, by this point, last game we had it down and almost a basement hook. So. This is a more, to be fair, this is a more standard artist start, but not the start that iPick needs right now. A couple really nice palettes here we've come across. First, that some very nice quote-unquote god rocks. Right. We are going to see an M1 here. Unfortunately for Spitz, ran out of pallets to.
Lo que está haciendo Spitz es lo que hace contra el artista, intentar irte entre estructuras, porque te quedas en la misma, vas a comer pollo.
Leave the loop and go to the next one. So M1 does come in. We got to imagine now, corrupt intervention has run out, by the way. So survivors are free to work any generator on the map.
Yep, and that's exactly what Invictus was going for here.
Haya calculado mal la distancia, tenía que haber metido un poquito más para dentro los cuervos y eso habría sido hit directo.
That slow
Vamos, está muerto, ¿vale?
play at the beginning, as Spitz is going to take a bird, and it looks like he's going to the Z-wall, his favorite tile, as he is going to go down. But that was a pretty good run from Spitz. Bought a lot of time, and
Un motor ya, muy bien.
most importantly, Invictus was able to finish one of those middle
Y Dan va a acabar el segundo.
generators. Definitely one of the most important on the map. And Spitz going to go up on the hook. Pain Resonance hits another generator, but Andrew, the progress here from Invictus is quite good.
Yeah, that Dan was working that generator there, got pain res, and is still sitting around 70%. We saw a little bit of progress working out. So they basically cut the map
Qué pena, por poco, pues me meto en taquilla.
in half there. Got rid of the middle gen, the 3-1-3. Well, the one is gone, so now we're sitting 3-3. This generator here's the one that got hit with pain res. Now you got to imagine with this much pressure being put on this generator, that save's going to come through. And now what do? You give
Nah, ya está. A tomar por culo. Le han rescatado fácil. Este motor está al toque. Ya la partida se le ha ido.
in so much space. Kicking this generator does almost nothing. We're not using eruption or pain res or anything. Someone put these stupid tires in the way, and we can't get around them. And Spitz gets good cross map distance, and Dan's gonna be able to finish that gen back up top. Kicking that generator, I feel, was maybe a panic move. It didn't accomplish anything. 5% is already gone, and
Yeah.
Dan is back on it, and the gen pop there, right? So
We're already at the last win condition here for iPick. As Andrew, I just want to mention that as Spitz gets tunneled out here, that middle gen being done is honestly a death sentence for iPick. Because he has to get a 4K3 here or a 4K2 to tie, and this map was a 3-1-3 split. So the middle generator being gone means that there is literally nothing
Súper poco,
to hold that isn't on each side of the map. As Spit's going to go down his pallet. Sure, he doesn't care too much about that though, as that is going to be the win condition
Hala, en cuanto se gane este motor, ya están, claro.
dissolved for iPick. Now at the tie
Qué bien juegan los suplentes de Invictus, juegan súper bien. Demasiado bien, diría yo.
condition here with multiple survivors working on different generators and only one survivor with any hook stages on them. Andrew, I would say this is all but done in favor of Invictus.
yeah, and it's you're really in a position where like you can't really even change your play style. Like once that middle gen was gone, the only hope you have is for a 4-man slug. And I mean that against against this caliber of player,
Yes.
you might as well be buy a lottery ticket. You have a better chance of that happening. Here comes Pedro, finishes that generator. That is going to be the win for Invictus for this first artist set. Now we're gonna see what kind of a result we're gonna get here. We're looking at outs here almost
Claro, no voy a hacer nada de súper bien.
Yep, so Kexo gonna go down. Spitz still up on the hook. Looks like somebody is coming in for the save there. That's probably Pedro.
Ya han ganado, por cierto, vale, han hecho 4 motores, pues se acaban de ganar.
As gonna be the third hook stage scored for iPick. We are at 1 gen remaining.
Que van a intentar hacer la mejor partida posible, básicamente, porque a lo mejor al final por puntuaje no se puede decidir el campeón, ¿vale?
Probably a pain res here.
Bueno, el campeón no, los que van a playoffs, mejor dicho.
On to Dan, I'm guessing. Since this is a fresh hook, yeah, that's gonna hit the main building generator there. Dan has just been cranking generators this entire game. I mean, usually you'd expect Dan to be like lighting it up and chase, but I guess everybody has to touch gens at some point in this game.
the resident motor repairman.
Spitz found once again. This is going to be his final chase. And I mean, you know Spitz. This is the survivor on Invictus that I would be most afraid to chase. So he is in his
Estás muerto, no se puede controlar el
comfort spot here, down on the ground.
No, la taquilla, la taquilla.
And somebody coming out of a locker there. Solid save.
Joder, vaya fallo Pedro, hijo.
Possibly coming in. Oh, but he just doesn't have the
Little
distance.
Nodders. Enjoyed the Nodders.
And,
I respect it.
I think that was
Pobre Spitz acaba de morir por culpa de Pedro, básicamente.
actually on Spitz there for not pointing at the pallet. He couldn't get under it just barely enough, and
Hala, 4 pulgas poderosos.
results in Pedro missing the pallet save.
I would agree with that. Man, these doors even, not that they really matter, but that's some of the worst split on doors you could possibly see. We're probably gonna end up seeing a 3 out here. In fact, I guarantee it's gonna be a 3 out here. Nothing you can really do. Grabs the birds. And oh no, the survivor's chasing the killer at this point. All right, there. Oh my goodness, maybe.
Muy bien hecho aquí, Pedro. Si os fijáis, se metía hacia el killer para que los cuervos jamás puedan impactarle. Y mientras se va quitando los cuervos. Dame un M1 y yo luego me voy. Perfecto juego aquí por Pedro.
Maybe. Oh my goodness, could you imagine? All right, well, anyways, in the end.
Pero se lo ha jugado, le llega a impactar a corta distancia y se lo hubiese papeado. Pero ya está, 4 colgers, partida super express. De verdad, qué bien juega el equipo de Invictus. Tampoco es el que le haya jugado mal, tampoco. Simplemente que los oponentes, o sea, lo han pasado por encima literalmente. La primera chase ha tardado un poquito más de la cuenta. El señor Spitz ha hecho una buena primera chase, no ha colgado un sótano y ya está. En un motor de sonido, pum, 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 pum. Y tiene una perk inútil. Esta perk es inútil, ¿vale? En esta partida no le ha servido para nada, básicamente, para nada. Y ya está, hemos jugado 4 flagrantes y chimpum. Y aparte del inicio, ha tardado mucho en empezar la chase. Ha tardado mucho. Han estado los oponentes muy bien jugando ahí en su zona, tranquilos, esperando que avance el tiempo. Y cuando tal, ya han salido. Nada, muy jugadores súper orientados, la verdad, súper bien. Cuando juegan también es muy difícil hacer cositas. La verdad, muy difícil como killer.
Match here.
Ay, perdón.
We've got Bubbo on the Plague, and he
Vale, plaga. Ahora va Bubo.
is running the Thanatophobia. Very interesting. No
Va con.
pain res
¿Dispara
here.
más
No
rápido? No me acuerdo. No, este no es el dispara más rápido.
in this series
Solo-
up 1-1.
¿Veis? Aquí lo veis, Ariandel, Invictus, veis un empate. Tiene el Invictus.
So spawning into the match here, we've got Bubbo on the Plague, and he is running the Thanatophobia.
No, este era. Contra la antafobia. Este era el addon para que creo, si no recuerdo mal, si me equivoco, corregidme, ¿vale? Porque yo me equivoco como cualquier persona humana. Para que se quede la infección más tiempo en motor, ventana, armarios, totems, esas cosas. Y la manzana va a tener una fuentecita más, ahora tendrá 2. Yo me gusta ir con doble manzana. Doble manzana pienso que es lo mejor. O el addon morado para que la purga corrupta te dure 20 segundos extra con la manzana verde. Y va con erupción, buena perda, antofobia muy buena para que al menos uno te dé fuente. En plan, si tú hieres a los 4, que uno use la fuente para que esta sea la tanatofobia fuerte, por así decirlo. Ya sabéis que la tanatofobia ahora con 4 serpientes heridos está muy fuerte. Agitación para tu colgar en la parte de los cojones. Intervención corrupta.
Very interesting. No pain res here, no totems or anything.
Sí, no hay gancho flagelante, es raro.
He's just got agitation, eruption, Thanatophobia.
Es que lleva erupción, yo creo que es mejor erupción que gancho flagelante con la plaga, porque este es un killer que va muy al late game. En plan, conforme pasa la partida se hace más fuerte porque es muy bueno controlando el 3-gen. Entonces erupción le viene muy bien, mucho mejor que gancho flagelante, ¿vale? O gancho flagelante te sirve cuando los killers tiran rápido supervivientes al principio de partida, pero si el plaga no tira rápido.
And wow, how
Al principio me refiero.
many gens is this on bottom side? I think I see quite a few.
Quite a few. I just want to make a quick correction there. I apologize. Pedro has been subbed out for Nightlight. We do have Nightlight playing our Claudette this time. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the corrupted gens, they're all in the middle. Those are, I mean, shallow top side, shallow main building side, and then, wow.
Con la plaga sale muy a cuenta aguantar la intervención corrupta. De verdad, muy a cuenta.
That is wild.
He's got a 4-gen bottom side here.
4-gen bottom side, and the top side ones aren't deep. That is crazy. And we do have eyes on Dan here. Wow, this is...
Empezar en main loop muy necesario. No se debe ir.
And this is what we're talking about. This is where things can go really crazy in a set like this. And the RNG...
Y menos aún sin desconcierto.
You know, it all comes down to chases, but sometimes you're able to hold positions that you weren't able to hold otherwise. We did lose sight of Dan, and it looks like Bubbo isn't quite able to identify. We do see
Se la han colado ya, los
the scratch marks probably running away. You have to assume that some of the other survivors have now cycled down to the bottom side. We do have, we only rocked one apple add-on, so it's, usually you'll see either one apple or or 2 apples sometimes. We do have the 1 apple, so we have 2 corrupt purge.
No llegas.
Goes for the big swing there. 2 corrupt purges, 1 on this hill and 1 in the middle of the map. So
Yeah, and that's the yellow, that's the old yellow
One ahí.
apple, remember the color change, and then also the hematite
that's
seal
right.
for the duration of infection on the gens. So one thing I want to mention here before we even get into our first down and hook is that with this build, with only Thanatophobia and eruption, Bubbo needs to be getting and keeping these infections. If he's not getting full value out of Thanatophobia here, he is going to be suffering from lack of slowdown. He doesn't have any ruin to do it passively, no pain.
Que sepáis que si vais andando la infección no sube, ¿vale? Solo sube si corréis o si reparáis, ¿vale?
In res for like a big burst. He has to be keeping everyone infected here.
Dan was working on that gen a little bit. I wonder how close they are to being fully infected, but Bubbo just takes the M1, takes the guaranteed hit. Looks like Dan had a lot of room left on their infection because they made it all this distance running and still haven't become fully
O sea, tiene una combinación doble ventana de la hostia. Esta con la otra.
infected.
¿Veis? Esta y esta. Están justo paralelas. Wow.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot. I mean, I think based on what we've got on the map.
Para que subir mal. Yo creo que lo ha enfocado mal. Debe haber saltado por aquí, saltar en la otra e intentar irse. pero se ha ido por lejos y no.
I think we're gonna have a very sluggy game. Obviously, we'll take a couple hooks in there early on, but I think we might be planning
¿Sabes? Se ha ido abordando la estructura hacia la otra, hacia la ventana de la otra. Yo creo que ahí lo han encarado mal.
for a pretty sluggy game. Dan goes down. Full infection comes in on Nightlight, and the other two survivors have yet been unseen.
That was a
¿Había un pavo en taquilla? Un segundo.
So they're early on, but
Porque creo que sí.
I think we might be planning for a pretty sluggy game. Dan goes down. Full infection comes in on Nightlight, and the other
Vale, no está en taquilla. Está ahí quieto.
two survivors have yet been unseen.
that was a bit of
Vale, digo, porque no se puede ver a la gente cuando está en taquilla, básicamente.
a pathing mistake there from Dan. I think he had access to at least 2 pallets there, but he chose to try to chain the windows instead, giving Bubbo the bloodlust, resulting in the down. These seasoned competitive 1v1 players, you got to understand when the killer is going to generate bloodlust. He was in chase for
Ya he visto a uno ya, y lo he visto.
quite a while there, and it is going to result in the first down. Agitation bringing him all the way into the back of the map, exactly where the survivors don't want him to be. So definitely a bit of a mistake there from Invictus.
I'm not 100%
Vale, esto le viene muy bien a Bubbo porque quiso Speed. Tienen que venir, ¿vale? Nailed no puede y va a infectar a otro más, ya son 3. Entonces, no, pero todos.
sure. I didn't see. Is Dan still not fully infected? I believe that they're not. I'm
Vale, todos infectados ya. O sea, a que Speed les falta, obviamente, pero ya están
not
infectados.
sure if
He is
that's so. Well, unfortunately, the two of them did just get it. I was going to say Dan could
Ha dicho, mejor me cojo la fuente. Más tarde.
get freely unhooked by a healthy survivor in that case. But then, unfortunately, both Kexo and Spitz did get infected. One with spit, one with touching a generator. So forget that thought. We are on our way to having 4 full injuries and full stacks of xenophobia. I would not be surprised if you see
Speed está reparando, obviamente se va a acabar infectando. Que yo me imagino que estarán dando.
a cleanse come in on the other side of
Hostia, se le ha colado. Qué pedazo de F por
the
Bubbo.
map. We do
Dan
see a
gets
sneaky unhook come through.
And who was that sneaking? That was Kexo sneaking into the back of the map as the
¿Por qué poco?
only not injured survivor. Corrupt Purge now going to come out. It's going to be Bubbo
Tiene el otro
desperately
aquí, El otro está aquí. Se tiene que ir.
trying to take back control of this game. He was in such a good spot there before that unhook came in. Corrupt Purge going to miss,
Muy bueno.
zoning him out into the open, and that is going to be the down with the Corrupt Purge. And now, I mean, he's
Veis que tiene que ir. Qué putada. Porque lo va a colgar por aquí, seguramente.
got agitation once again. He is going to be able to pull him into the bottom of the map.
Va a salvar el panel del saco otra vez. Eso está muy bien para ellos.
And Nightlight just working a generator in the top.
¿Ves? Nellet se ha curado. ¿Por qué? Porque es el que está más alejado de la plaga. Está la fuente muy, muy alejada, entonces no le renta ir a por esa fuente. Y aparte de tanatofobia, pues no es tan bestia.
Top side, and you know, Andrew, that and any means necessary on that pallet there. I believe
Gonna
that
say it.
was
Pues claro, Nellet tiene un dilema. Tiene que reparar y venir a toda hostia. Porque si no, el señor
Spitz there
Dan muere.
on the Renato with the any means. So
I was gonna mention it. You see Spitz running in and going, no. Don't let them kick it. Don't let the
Yep.
play kick the. We get 2 shack pallets this game now.
okay,
So
and Bubbo
pretty
going for the
huge.
kill here, immediately taking his second
No va por él porque se lo rescata.
Corrupt Purge. If he doesn't get something big from this, then that is going to be huge for Invictus. This would be all of the Corrupt Purge gone from the map.
Would you see a generator pop
Está muerto ya. No llega nada.
down the other end of the map? That is 2 of the 3 generators down that end. We're looking like we're gonna try and take a pull
Bien, hace que la coja. Así Dan puede que lo rescaten. Puede.
here. So the unhook will probably come in while we pulled Kexo here out of the. But it didn't come in fast enough, and we might be able to
Muy bien.
get there. We still have half of our Corrupt Purge left.
Yep,
Dan
Dan
runs-
in danger here. This
Dan
is
kinda
probably
runs
his
out-
last chase.
Runs out to the middle there, but I think decides I'm not going to make it the same way I tried to make it last time. I have to try and make it to this
Buah, por súper poco. Ahora tira para aquí.
pallet. Does not quite hit that land that purge. We do have a pallet here. Oh, we are going down under pallet, and we do see the sneaky healthy survivor here, Nightlight, hanging out. But I don't
Que eso no creo que la cura Spitz, porque se cura muy rápido.
think that I don't think our killer was not
Efectivamente.
born yesterday. All the survivors are hanging out, and the corrupt purge
No, cagada. Yo creo que se lo quita.
ran out.
Going to go for the pickup.
Efectivamente, aquí cagada de Hugo.
And somebody is there. Wow, Nightlight
Tenía 3 supervivientes alrededor suya. Estás loco, literalmente.
able to get the save there. Nicely done. That is exactly what Invictus needed to stay in this game. And Andrew Dan is making it all
No puede, sabe perder la partida si se va por él.
the way to topside off of that pallet save.
And they're gone. Like, there's nothing. You have to. Bubbo knows you can't do this. This is big. This is big. There's still one generator topside, so Dan can go freely work on that generator, knowing that the killer will not come down that end again. Spitz holds onto that generator so long that I thought maybe it was almost done, but in the end, it was just confidence, knowing that they could make the pallet. Took every second they could on the gen progress, and the problem is that now if somebody else goes down here, yeah, they're not getting tunneled out yet. But they're still sitting in a position where they're hooked in the wrong side of town.
You can't give him another down.
Aquí ha hecho lo de usar la perk porque parece que saltas, entonces eso hace que juegues al killer, pero aquí el killer no se la ha comido, muy bueno.
Down here in the bottom side of the map, and yeah, Spitz going to go down. Where's Nightlight right now? I think he's over by Shaq trying to break that 3-gen. And yeah, so progress is coming in. Nightlight is going to finish one of the gens here. There is still a 3-gen on bottom side, but that was one of the ones that was kind of really making this a bad setup for Invictus. So Nightlight
A Praga lo normal que se le hagan 4 motores, ¿vale? Es lo más normal. 5 ya es más difícil.
able to get that one out of the way.
Pero se puede, obviamente.
Looks like Dan was also pretty highly progressed on a generator. I think that one was closer to topside though. So Spitz going to be put up on his first hook. Yeah, Dan looking to finish this gen here, and there's no way the killer is ever going to come down here just because of where the gen is. Spitz and Kexo now in chase, and remember, Andrew, with that pallet stun, the corrupt purge has left the trial permanently until one of these survivors decides to cleanse.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I kind of was surprised with
Muy buena ese minigame, ha sido brutal.
where the hook came in.
Porque aquí lo suyo es nunca dar la ventana, que precisamente lo que ha hecho la plaga, en plan. Aquí ha habido un minigame en plan profesional, en plan. El suplente sabe que el killer no le va a dejar la ventana, en plan, le va a dejar correr así, hacia en sentido antihorario. Pero claro, aquí la plaga ha dicho, bueno, le voy a dar la ventana, que se equivoque, que se confíe con que no le da la ventana, pum, voy por la izquierda y se la cepilla. Y eso es justo lo que ha pasado, ¿vale?
Okay, full swing through the pallet, love it. But we do see, no, they decided better. I think you saw, I think it was Spitz coming in for the pallet save maybe. We do see our 4th gen pop. I was going to say that we end up hooking Spitz pretty deep into the map, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe trying to hold the middle 3 gens, but at that point, Dan was just about
No sé si llega, muy jodido llega.
to pop it, and that one did pop. So now we've got
Muy bien, que eso por cierto cayendo en esta parte del mapa.
3 gens down the
Si caen en esa parte están bien jodidos.
far end of the map. We did have did have a cleanse on Nightlight earlier, so we do have our corrupt purge. We still have our 3 gen, but they're getting heavy progress done on it, and we have the hook on the exact opposite end of the town, end of the map. Survivors have a lot of time to take their time and get and tackle this 3 gen with 4 survivors still alive.
Yeah, and honestly, it might be a little bit premature there, taking the corrupt purge. He doesn't really have
El Dan es una posición muy mala,
a read on anybody right now, except for Nightlight, who's completely healthy. And it seems like the survivors are smartly running all the way back to the other side of the map, and they're just going to wait out this corrupt purge. I would be surprised if that's not what they did.
I think Dan just showed themselves there as come chase me kind of sense. Hey, I'm dead on hook, come and get me, which might indicate to Bubbo that someone is still stealthed at bottom side, down shack side here. But Bubbo, keeping eyes open, but just walking around breaking some of these pallets, getting rid of some resources. This pallet's still down here too. The game-changing pallet save pallet is now gone, and yeah, corrupt purge is over. So we're back down to our green spit, spitting on the generators just to make sure.
El Dan está muy jodido, o sea, como venga la plaga, bueno, tiene para el saque, es cierto, pero no sé.
Nightlight doesn't get any free repairs without having to take the injury. If you're Nightlight, what do you do here? Do you get injured, or is that just going to work against you in the 3 gen?
I think if you're Nightlight here with a flashbang crafted, I think you honestly hover and try to support your teammates. Work on a generator if it's not infected, but I think having somebody that's not coughing is going to be extremely valuable here if you're going for like saves or something. But he is going to
Tiene tanatofobia, aunque bueno, de hecho los tiene que curar y ya está.
take an M1 there at the double window. probably didn't expect Bubbo to commit that far up the map. And now just going to be leaving and going to his gens. Now, where were these survivors? Did they have progress? Checking this TL generator. There are scratch marks here. Only a little bit of progress so far, though. I think the one that they're definitely going to be trying to go for is going to be that one off in the far corner where Spitz was downed earlier. And somebody
like
definitely,
they're
making
doing a
loud
2-1
noises.
split there. Yeah. They did the 2-1 split there. This is an interesting one to work on, though. We have eruption down on both of the active gen. Wait, is that? I was gonna say.
Claro, ven hecho Nightlight porque él es su primer golpe.
What?
Le cuelga interesante.
Nightlight intentionally taking it down to prevent Dan from being sacrificed.
That was Dan. That's why I was like, what just happened there? They are doubled up. They're 2 and 2 on these generators, but I don't think we have enough progress there, do we?
And
Fijaros lo que están sufriendo contra una plaga, Y pensar que antes estaban contra el artista y le pasaban por encima, literalmente.
now,
Al final los tiers no hay que cogerlos tan en plan cogerlos en plan, mira, este es tier A+, este killer es brutal. Luego te ven un killer de tier B y que resulta, en teoría, ser peor, pero oye, estaban pasándolo mucho peor en la partida.
Bubbo is taking Nightlight further up the map here. Now, I guess he's thinking that he really wants to protect this generator here. So he's going to hook Nightlight right there and kind of ignore the one in the back corner. And that's very smart. And I'll tell you
O sea, 50-50.
guys why in a second. So going to be dropping the chase on Spitz to kick that gen. These regression events are starting to add up, Andrew. And I think the reason why Bubbo is ignoring this generator in the corner as far as hook placement goes
Haya habido corvos aquí.
is because he doesn't think the survivors are going to care about it anymore, because look at this dead zone. Survivors don't want to be here anymore.
Y son 4, imagino los 3.
You get found here on this gen, you just die. As Nightlight
displayed right there, yeah. That's where Bubbo hooked Spitz earlier too, and I wasn't quite sure why, but I think you're absolutely right. I think it's that
Fijaros la tanatofobia, que lento reparan, tío.
Bubbo can walk over to that corner and just kill somebody whenever someone is
Y mira la agitación lo buena que es brutal.
over there, and as we've seen twice now with Nightlight in a row here. Although this is a weird place to hook because it's a free unhook, right? I'm a little. That's the one thing I'm not entirely sure about. Like, you're right with what you're saying, but Bubbo's also basically sacrificing a free unhook. I guess you could say the corner's a free unhook as well, but it's deep. And with Nightlight on Death Hook now, you could potentially get somebody out of the game.
Muy buena aquí, 50-50 y Bubbo lo ha hecho muy bien.
And that's going to be the end of Spitz there. This is going to be second hook on Spitz.
Yeah, protecting this generator is definitely a better play for Bubbo. Because, okay, they are actually still doubling this dead zone generator, and they might honestly get it.
Claro, aquí que se cree que da persecución para que puedan hacer el motor.
He's taking quite a lot of time to get Spitz over to
Again,
that
this
middle
hook.
hook. And look at Kexo here. He's not dead on hook. He's going to immediately unhook that.
Lo hacen, creo, lo hacen, chicos.
And it looks like they are going to be able to finish that last gen. Don't think Bubbo makes it there in time. So that is
Brutal los supervivientes, con la presión que tienen encima, tío.
going to be all of the gens finished, all of the survivors
Eso sí, muchísimos colgas, muchísimos.
injured. And now 2 more survivors trapped in this dead zone. Going corner here is Dan, the dead on hook survivor. Exactly the person that they want to die.
Pues van a ser 3, 5, 6, 8
If anybody has to. And now I would say, Andrew, we're probably going to see a lot more cleanses come in.
Yeah, so Kexo, I believe, is for right now all the time.
Ahí están, todos se escapan, obviamente. Uno abre la puerta y los otros se van a tomar por culo. 8 cuelgues, muchísimos, de verdad. Muchos con la plaga, si te haces 4 o 5, está bastante bien, la verdad. Las cosas como son. Se ha hecho muy buena partida, Hugo. Vale. Y porque los suplentes tenían un pedazo de nivel, si no se iba al 4K, os lo aseguro. Bien, siguiente partidita. Vale, para atrás un poquito ahora.
I really like the bamboozle, personally. I think
Pedro, y mira, fijaros, va con lo que yo decía. El lado morado este para tener 20 segundos de poca corrupta. La manzana verde, que es concierto. Esta me parece brutal. Con la plaga puedo llevar M1 al principio, que estás muy, muy jodido de al principio dar M1. Y esto en el main te ayuda mucho y en el sac muchísimo. Y erupción gacho flagelante con Introducción corrupta. Bien, o sea, yo gancho flagelante, lo bueno que tiene la perk, que al principio si te haces cuelgues es la hostia. Pero si te lo dejas para el final, pierde mucho poder la perk. Sin embargo, la erupción funciona muy bien al final de la partida, que es cuando plaga, digamos, es más fuerte.
Some areas of this map are
Ya lo habéis visto, la erupción en la anterior partida de Bumbo, joder, ha ido de perlas, cosas como son.
just not good for a M1
Pase en Tanato, interesante.
killer, especially that main building and the shack. So I really like the
A mí me gusta más la web de Bumbo, las cosas como son, ¿vale? Pero me gustan más los addons de Pedro, en verdad.
inclusion of the bamboozle here. Honestly, I think this is the build that I would bring myself if I were playing this set. So Pedro going to be first in chase with
Claro, toca el palet, pues se infecta.
Swatter there, and actually misses the vile bird.
Misses,
and Swatter
but then
he
hit
only
the
gets
pallet.
infected because he touched the pallet.
Yeah, I love that. I was like, oh, good dodge. Wait, oh, spit on the pallet. Yeah.
Claro, aquí Pedro lo ha hecho muy bien. Infecta el palet y luego intenta afectar a su oponente. Su oponente esquiva, pues mete ese palet y infectas igualmente.
That's funny. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Bamboozle. By the way, I'm also a fan of Bamboozle in this set. It's interesting you mentioned that there was very rare situations last match when Bamboozle would have helped. We had 0 chases around main building other than that first cat and mouse at the very beginning of the match. And then Shaq really, there wasn't a whole lot of play around Shaq. The Shaq pallet went down as a defense against the tunnel at the beginning, and then yeah, not a whole lot of window play, but typically, on average, you're absolutely right. I would say. I don't know if you noticed, there's a very strong 4-gen down by main building there.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also a good 3-gen on bottom side. And with a win con of stages, it actually doesn't really matter which one Pedro chooses to protect here, I think.
Get the double vault here. We're probably going to see Shaq pallet go down. Swatter with the heads up play. Predicts, sees the double vault and does drop Shaq pallet, so Shaq pallet will be gone. Dropping Shaq pallet at 5 gens. We do see a crow fly there. Pedro, I'm sure, noticed as well. Pedro is aware they are working on that corner gen down by Shaq. Tries to do a little sneaky moonwalk there on this pallet gym, but Swatter is an experienced survivor. Will not fall for that. We are running back to Shaq. I don't know what we're going to do here.
Running back to the shack with nothing, that tells me that the survivors are
Aquí Pedro pues, le he hecho un pequeño algo hacia el interior, ¿no? Para saludar a la suerte, pero muy frontalmente.
coming to him to not come to their gens. So Pedro here actually going to be
Muy bien, aquí
getting a hit coming in from Excise, so this chase is going to last even longer.
Antes de ir hacia la derecha para dar a la izquierda, pero veía que no.
Can't get around Excise there, takes another injury, and they can do that because of there's no thanatophobia, no penalty for getting multiple injuries here. And man, Andrew, this chase is lasting for quite a while, and what a setup he has here.
Muy larga, eh.
The window into the double window. This pallet
De frente.
is gone though, and it looks like with
He tenido miedo, he pensado de
the
frente.
bloodlust, Pedro is going to be going down here. Makes the point though, is there somebody here for the save? Doesn't look like it.
That would be wild.
No había nadie, qué pena.
If it was. So this middle area, and I wasn't sure what that tile we were running to was, but it looked like a 4-gen or one of those crooked long walls. So we do have that pallet there, but yeah, there's not a lot of resources. We have a double window in the middle connected to that dead pallet gym now. We are going to see a couple generators pop for this
Están haciendo 3 motores, lo sepas.
first hook. Did the pain res come in? The pain res did come in on one of them, so we will not be seeing 2 gens pop just yet. First one does pop. And looks like we're trying to continue. This is a very aggressive move here. Coming down to main building. They would have calmed. Yeah, they obviously calmed here. Excise looks like they lied the way. We have eyes on all 3 survivors, though.
Yep,
That
and the
corner gen pops.
3-gen bottom side is broken, so now Pedro is most likely going to have to play top as Excise running over towards the shack here. There is really nothing here, and Pedro has bloodlust. He doesn't go for the swing though, opting to do the bamboozle and chase Excise all the way into this corner where the generator is already completed.
Vale,
And
perfecto.
Excise going to go down. No agitation
Hay que caer lo más lejano posible para que no llegue al gancho flagelante o porque no le pongan en un buen sitio, ¿sabes?
here, so honestly, there's a chance that he doesn't make a pain resonance here with Excise going all the way into the corner. You really don't want to be on this side of the map anymore if you're Pedro.
Vale, lo ha usado.
Going to come in, and that was a pain resonance hitting Hardwell's gen. They do not have a lot of progress if that is their most progressed gen here. So Pedro, he needs to get back to top side and start getting some downs over there.
I think if you're looking the way Pedro's playing here, I was interested to see, like I said it earlier at main building, we went all the way from main, all the way back down to the other end and did some shack chase there. I think that what we're looking at here is, look, I've got a 9-hook requirement. I got to hook all the survivors. Yes, tunneling someone out will be good, but also I think I'm going to maybe catch some survivors off out of position maybe, and just chase people. Just do a full chase here, try and get as many hooks on the board as possible. I'm not sure it's going to pay off. Not tunneling out is rough, but then if you think about it, the tunnel out didn't come in for the last match either, so you're not really at a disadvantage. Both games have been a 4v1s so far.
No le interesa porque reparan este motor muy bien hecho.
Water.
Forced to leave the main building because of the bamboozle, but Pedro doesn't want to commit. Now, he hasn't dropped his corrupt purge once yet this game. So, now chasing Hardwell on this rock filler, this pallet is theoretically safe if your reaction time is good enough.
Looks like we might swing through here though. No, okay, so we are going to take an infection. That's curious, the infection, because it didn't really change anything.
Va a coger fuente porque si no lo tenemos muy
Really?
Hardwell full W.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it didn't really change anything. I guess the only thing is that then they can cleanse, and maybe you're going to encourage them to cleanse. I think it was maybe just well, you're getting no way, I'll spit on you anyway. Interesting.
He's got the add-on for the increased duration of the corrupt purge.
Hostia, que lleva erupción. Joder, soy retraso mental, Que he dicho antes, he dicho agitación, normal. Lleva erupción, muy bien hecho.
By the way, so no hematite seal.
Amulet.
Unlike Bubbo in the last match, yeah, that's a, I think, worship amulet. Or
It's extra 20 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, it's 20 extra seconds on the corrupt purge. So it's going to be a gen on the bottom side being completed, and Pedro is kind of running out of time here. He's got his little 3-gen. He definitely needs to be protecting this. If he's not able to get something out of this corrupt purge, that is going to be really bad for him, as he only has one other fountain. It is in a very good spot, but he really does need to get something out of this without kind of losing any progress on those topside generators. The one that he just applied eruption to had a significant amount of progress, so he needs it down very soon. And
coming all the way down the other end of the map, though.
Yeah, Ariandel is doing a very good job to hide here and prolong this, even prolonging the chase as long as possible from starting.
We're running out of time here on our purge. In fact, if we don't spit right here, this is
Dios mío, chaval. Llega a fallar eso y F.
Oh, we do get the grab. Oh my goodness, that was so close. Okay.
Ha sido ultra mega justo.
But this is only hook number 3, and the rest of the team is up and alive on the other end of the map, cracking that 3-gen. 50% left on this generator here. And we do have an easy, quick unhook that can come in here from Hardwell. Well, yeah, this is looking a little bit rough from a little bit rough for Pedro here.
Yeah, and you can see why Ariandel picked this set, because they're playing so disciplined when that corrupt purge comes out. It took almost 3/4 of the power gauge for Pedro to even find somebody there. And now, kind of in desperation mode, he's going to take his second and final fountain.
El poder de base dura 1 minuto, ¿vale? Si no recuerdo mal. Entonces durará 1 minuto y 20 segundos que tienen que estar AFK, prácticamente los supervivientes, ¿vale? No se pueden acercar. El riesgo es demasiado grande y el premio es muy poco.
And just watch how the survivors play this.
O sea, un premio leve.
Very smart. You're absolutely right. This is scary. This is almost the same as, I'm sorry guys, everything with me comes back to Oni because I'm such an Oni lover. This is the same thing when you pop power on Oni too fast, and then you're looking around and the survivors go ghost protocol and you don't find anybody. Now we did manage to find a cornered up survivor here, but we're on the wrong end of the map again. And this purge, this corrupt purge, we really needed a significant amount of pressure, and that might not be enough here.
Yeah, and Pain Resonance was
No me acuerdo de quién era gancho para Atlante, la verdad.
already used on Swatter earlier, so this isn't going to do anything to the gens, this hook. And yeah, it's going to be second hook onto Swatter, but again, look at the way the survivors are.
Si están tres en un motor, si es que se puede estar tres, quizá lo hacen.
Are playing this. As soon as that corrupt purge comes out, you can't find anybody. And when you do find somebody, they are all the way in the back of the map, as far away as possible, where you don't want to be.
Vale, había dos en esta parte de mapa, el otro estaba para cerca.
We do hear some coughing in main building there. Now, on spectator.
¡Oh! ¡Brutal! ¡Qué buenísima! Esto jodido.
We do. Oh my goodness! Great, great.
Me encanta el comentarista que va como un poco de delay, en plan pega la hostia y se da cuenta al segundo y medio, en plan, ¡oh, Dios mío! El comentarista de locos.
Bits. I'm pretty sure Hardwell has balanced landing because we've seen them jump off this hill before, and
Sí, tenía Hardwell el queda equilibrado.
Pedro just manages to arc it just over, and a droplet hits over and downs Pedro.
Claro, ¿por qué se cura Bobo? Porque tiene que rescatar a alguien. Vale, pues en esta parte del mapa el killer puede campear y zonear muy bien. Entonces alguien se tiene que ir pulsar.
And now we've got, this is what we've needed all game from Pedro. We have a down in the 3-gen side. Painterez comes in. We're going to apply Eruption.
Es el último gancho flagelante, el de Hardwell.
And now Survivors are still in a really good spot, but this is a swing that might help Pedro bring it home.
Yeah, that is exactly what Pedro needed to get back into this game. He remembers Hardwell using the balanced landing off of that hill before and just goes for a arcing shot and lands the down there onto Hardwell. And that's going to result in even
Suerte me imagino que se ha curado para no morir, ¿vale? Como está curado de morir, se ha curado por eso.
more corrupt purge for him now. Seems like the
Bobo efectivamente ha ido a rescatar, como os dije.
survivors of Ariandel are feeling like they need to start cleansing, as the regression events are kind of stacking up on these gens, but with this
Lo bueno de venir del lado, digamos, malo del mapa, el lado donde el killer no debería estar, es que los suplentes los encierras contra la pared. En plan, no pueden ir hacia su zona favorable, que es donde no hay motores, sino que tú vienes de esa zona y no tienen cómo ir a través de ti.
corrupt purge. If Pedro could land a kill, say on Swatter, get us into the 3v1, he would be looking pretty good here to meet this win condition. Remember, it is a win condition of 9 stages. He doesn't have to hold on to this 3-gen.
Interesting. I guess we were following the. I thought we were going to swing through that there. Maybe it looked a little bit different on their screen than ours. I thought we would swing through that.
No.
Looks like we're trying to pick off. Oh my goodness, so close. Great doing Hardwell.
Aguanta muchísimo, o sea, aquí lo normal es que te tire fácil.
God, caster curse. I was about to say Hardwell doing a great job dodging the spit and the flash.
¡Oh, Dios mío, oh, Dios mío, oh, Dios mío! La linterna esa no ha entrado. Nada. Pedro ahora mismo tiene el culo así. Así lo tiene el culo.
Like almost comes through, but just managed to look away. The rock. Who put that rock there? Oh my goodness. Pedro is going to get
Llega a entrar la linterna y es F.
our second hook on Hardwell, deep in this corner. It's going to be a lot harder. It's very interesting, too, when we're going back to the fact that the survivors are starting to cleanse.
Qué bien está jugando Pedro, lo está jugando muy bien.
But Pedro knew that they were kind of safe as far as generator progress goes because you had the unhook come in, Bubbo unhooked Hardwell, and then you saw the other two cleanse up the other end of the map, and you could see which pools they were. But Pedro knew no one
Va por la siguiente fuente.
was working on the generators at that time,
Sí, sí.
and was able to go deep there and grab one of those purges. I think we're gonna go for the last one here.
He's going to go for another one here. And that
La estrategia la estás viendo bastante bien, así que adelante.
was at least regression event 5 or 6 on that right side
Suerte la rescata.
generator. So something to keep in mind there if you're Pedro. He should have enough time to maybe reach the stage requirement before that generator is blocked. But it is definitely getting up there. The eruption does tend to kind of
Está bien ya el palete está la primera para poder protegerte contra el poder de la plaga.
speed run those eight events that you're allowed to do as trying to mortar
Los está tirando en plan muy hijos de puta,
shot the corrupt purge over the tile. I've seen it work before, but a little bit hard to do when there are so many trees in the way. As he's just gonna break the pallet, zone back towards main building. And Bubbo here not going to be
Muy bueno.
long for this world as he goes down by the hill. It's gonna be another regression event hitting that gen, and he
Ayer están reparando, vemos a Superviviente.
can see with the R.
A ver si cambian ya los colores, en plan, que de repente se les vea, yo que sé, verdes, azules o amarillos o algo así. Bueno, amarillos no, pero no sé. Verdes, azules, blancos.
From eruption, somebody is working it, and somebody is no longer working it, as they're going to be running away off into the bottom side of the map, and maybe setting up for this save.
game is quickly
¿Cómo está controlando 4 supervivientes, el Pedro? Brutal.
falling apart for our survivors. It was
Es que parece que lo hace fácil. Parece en plan, "Bah, me pongo yo y también lo hago así igual de fácil". Poneros, vais a flipar lo difícil que es, ¿eh? En públicas, como contra 4 supervivientes normales. O sea, de verdad, es difícil aguantar un trillion contra 4 supervivientes.
really they were in such a good position, but that one arced shot over that hill that got that deep hook on Hardwell just has turned the game around, and Pedro is inching closer and closer to that win condition. We have about another couple seconds left on this. Does not get the purge through the window there on Excise. Excise is gonna...
Buah, por un poquito.
I didn't want to say get away from this purge and then
Hostia, el caso del motor. Cagada aquí de Pedro, tío. Buah, no han finiquitado en nada.
have them get hit, so I stopped talking. And the last gen does pop! Okay, Excise is worth, I believe, 2 hook states.
Ariandel hizo 8 cuelgues. Bueno, claro, si hace un cuelgue más es empate. Porque, claro, sin cuelgue más empate.
Yep,
But
Excise
it's not
worth 2 here.
It's
Needs
not
to
enough,
win
though.
these.
Pues tiene, claro, y encima Excise es el que tiene un cuelgue. Qué putada. Como Excise muera, gana Invictus.
50s,
Con lo que tiene la partida de controlada, se la han cascado, madre mía.
and he was playing the short side, unfortunately, so Excise is going to go down. I'm not going to be trusting the visual hook counter.
La linterna lo que te Pedro, que antes casi te la cascan y estaba por ahí cerca. Buah, error cagada garantía.
And the flashlight save comes in. Are you
Se levantan todos.
kidding me, Andrew? Was
I
that
was
Swatter with the
wondering.
flashlight?
That's insane. That's such a big change. Are they going to get the door? But they do! The door's open. They're going to get out! That is
Cagada.
going to be a win for Ariane.
Pues victoria para Ariandel.
No!
Me encanta la emoción que le pone el comentarista, la verdad, está chulo. Qué cagada de linterna, qué cagada, tío. Si casi te la cascan antes, sabes que está por ahí rondando. Mucho cuidado, mucho cuidado, tío. Este ha sido error garrafal de Pedro y le ha costado la partida, ¿eh? Porque si cuelga el Sagis, ya es empate, eso ya mínimo. Y si lo mata o cuelga a otro, victoria. Cambiaría muchísimo película. Buah, qué error garrafal, ¿eh? Imaginaos, hasta los mejores como es Pedro también fallan, así que, en fin, podemos fallar cualquiera. Pero es un error muy grande para lo que es. Vale, pues 1-1, chicos. Creo que toca payaso. No me acuerdo.
Welcome back to the
Sí, payaso.
third set of this match.
Vale, este es el payaso. No, este es el payaso anterior, ¿vale? No es el nuevo, el que tira botellas varias al suelo como sus normales. Es el payaso de las botellas moradas fuertes, básicamente, ¿vale? Eso que queréis va con el addon de un segundo más de entorpecimiento y el otro addon de creo que era un 7% más de entorpecimiento o algo así, me parece, o un 4, no me acuerdo muy bien el porcentaje, pero más entorpecimiento todavía. Va con el abrazo del dragón, no, agarra del dragón, perdón, que es muy buena perk con el payaso, aunque parezca mentira, es muy buena perk. Carnicero y chapucero, para que estén ahí todos seguidos continuamente. Gancho flagrante y erupción. Va sin dirección corrupta, bueno, es que es desguace. Intervención corrupta en desguace tampoco es que sea muy buena.
Between Ariandel and Invictus, and I can admit when I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, and I was completely wrong about who would be playing the clown. It's actually Pedro, not Nightlight like I thought. I really thought the guy who kind of created the forced hesitation clown in comp would be on the clown. But
Qué sida, tío, se queda parado súper bien.
nope, it's Pedro. So
Aunque es más sida lo de ahora, Lo de ahora es más sida todavía, la batalla amarilla.
looks like he's
Menos mal que va a ser nerfeado.
already going to be getting a hit onto Excise here. And Excise holding W towards
Pallet, obviamente.
that shack. Definitely what you want to be doing against the clown here with those
Que sepáis que el payaso es killer tiene sin persecución, ¿vale? Que lo sepáis, o sea, este killer es un hijo de puta en chase.
hindering bottles, as Shack Pellet is immediately going to be leaving the trial here, Andrew, as Excise will make the window, but what does he make
Agilidad buena.
after that?
Very interesting. Very interesting. No corrupt intervention, I want to point out.
Nah, este error.
Which is kind of a spicy, I would say spicy pick. No, spicy not pick on
Brutal.
Records Yard here. Really, wow. Real, Excise winning that 50-50 exceptionally well. Manages to make another loop around here. This pallet isn't the strongest pallet in the world.
Muy bien, es un 50-50, pero lo ha jugado muy bien en 6,
Okay, we do swing through, but not before Gen Pop, so there we go. No corrupt intervention on Records Yard is really interesting. I wonder if Pedro is paranoid now about flashlights. And we're good.
The Sloppy Butcher and the
Pedro no tenía botellas amarillas, ¿vale? Pero si tenéis una botella, tenéis una amarilla al suelo para llegar más rápido al gancho básicamente.
Dragon's
Ese gancho plagamente más todavía.
grip instead of the corrupt. I'm wondering when we'll see that Dragon's grip come into play. I mean, he's got it paired with the eruption, so he definitely does have a reason to kick generators. As first hook going to be coming in onto Excise, and looks like pretty good progress across the map for Ariandel. Yeah, Dragon's grip going to be applied to
Claro, eso es que se vaya para que la guerra del dragón funcione.
that shack generator. Should be activating any second now as the survivors come back to touch it.
Vale.
I'm not a big fan. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm not a big fan of Dragon's Grip. I feel like it's so hard to get value. Like,
¿Ha visto alguien por aquí? Porque yo no he visto a nadie.
yes,
I'm a fan of it, but not on Clown.
yeah, well, yes, fair, because you don't. It's not like, I mean, I guess you got the yellow bottles, but you're not a very heavy mobility killer, right? Look, we've just double kicked this generator.
Eso sí que está haciendo el gancho sobre todo, ¿vale?
That's two generator.
Compañeros, te tienes que quitar a uno súper rápido la partida, súper rápido. En plan, que llega al segundo stage, se desais, lo descuelgan y te lo papeas rápido.
Two regression on Shaq. Now Shaq is very important. Don't get me wrong, but we
Lo suyo es estar contra 3 suplentes con 2 motores. Eso es lo suyo, ¿vale?
we exposed our Dragon's Grip on Shaq Gen. Now they know about it. Now they're going to be careful of it, and it's going to be very, very unlikely, I think, unless we're talking about a late game 3-gen popping situation, that you're going to get any value out of it. I feel like there's so many better perks you could run. One of them being Corrupt Intervention. You might have prevented one of those generators from popping.
Creo que se le ha colado Hardware, estoy seguro.
Excise goes to second. While I'm yapping here, Excise goes to second. They're letting that go. I hope they're getting a lot of gen progress for this, because they still are at 3 gens remaining.
Muy bueno.
Yeah, hit comes in onto Bubbo there, and that was another Dragon's Grip activating on Swatter off in the distance.
Suárez está guaso, pero obviamente va a seguir reparando.
So that's another person that can't save for quite a while.
Esta parte me la usan para generar presión, ¿vale? En plan, tú le pegas una patada al motor, vuelve, es one-shoteable y ya después de nuevo generar una presión extra en el suelo superviviente. En plan, que le impide reparar en algún punto.
I'm wondering here if they're just letting Excise die in exchange for doing gens. So I mean, the Clown is one of those killers that can only pressure one person at a time. Now he's going to be stretching out away
Ese M1
from the hook, and oh, he misses the swing there. Andrew, I think he had that down if he had not swung. And now he just has to go back to the hook.
I didn't hear. Did Bubble scream there? I didn't hear it.
Por los demás, ¿no?
Did Bubble get slowed? It didn't seem like. It seemed like the bottle was a little further out than was expected. I like this teamwork play though. We got Hardwell coming in, throwing pallets to let Excise get some distance.
And this is exactly
No va a saltar porque perdería la cobertura del compañero.
what you need to do if you're Ariandel here. You can't let Excise die that easily. You have multiple
Muy bien ahí, Hardware, poniéndose en cuidas en el sitio para que no pueda pasar por encima.
survivors that can
Está por el lado.
take hits, and that's exactly what they should be doing here. So Hardwell going to take a hit.
Eso que la agilidad es un poco truño contra la botella morada.
It's going to be the Lithe coming out from Excise, making sure that he at least makes one more pallet
Qué buena, brutal.
here. Oh,
Se la ha jugado, pero buenísimo.
but he just swings through. And the greed from Excise is going to result in his death here at 3 gens remaining. You really better hope that
El motor se la gana, seguro.
Ariandel has more gens about to pop, as no pain res coming in here because it was a 3rd hook. But I mean, Pedro's on the way over, and what kind of progress do these gens have? That's very important for Ariandel.
He just
No, ¿en
picked
serio?
just after that
Buah, pues los supervivientes están jodidos, 3 supervivientes y 3 motores están jodidos los supervivientes,
masterclass of a short swing, downs Excise and walks through.
Y parece no, pero el swing que ha sido corto. No es lo mismo que lanzar uno largo, ¿vale? O sea, no es lo mismo. El corto requiere menos preparación. Lo ha hecho clavado, literalmente perfecto.
The pallet. My heart was in my throat after seeing a flashlight save and a pallet save.
Se ha picado el Pedro por la anterior flasheada.
Totally changed the results of the last 2 matches. Walking through that pallet, just like all the blood rushed to my head. I was losing my mind there. Anyways, Hardwell gets healed up, and we're going to continue the chase on. This pallet is gone here, so we're going to get a hit on Hardwell. We have some eruptions across the map. Only 2 generators for letting Excise go to second and then eventually die. This is not what we want to see. What Ariandel wants to see from the survivors right now.
Muy buena aquí de Pedro.
Yeah, and that bus pallet right there is deceptively difficult to play for Killer. But I guess Hardwell didn't have the critical information there that the side of that pallet that has the little ramp that goes up is way safer, because the Killer can't just walk up onto that ramp. They have to go slightly around, and it makes the loop longer.
So where I believe Bubba was working on the generator by I think it was the dump truck, sort of across the map from where the hook is. We're gonna see the unhook come through right away.
Que sepáis que sí que los señores botellanos, como habéis podido ver, el suplente se quita la interacción de descolgar. Ha sido por nada, por una décima de segundo.
Bottle hits but does not interrupt. That was really close to interrupting the unhook by the collision with Bottle there. Swatter takes the hit, and we are going to see another.
Muy buena, Pedro. Está acertando menos un 50-50, has acertado todos.
A quick down here, and I think we're just going to be seeing this back and forth. Take the pain res, get the fresh hook, and the survivors really need to get a generator or two done here to even stand a chance. They are falling apart right now.
Yeah, and it would have been a fine play to let Excise go to second if it was in exchange for more generator progress, but we're not really seeing that generator progress here, as another pain resonance is going to hit. I mean, they were able to finish the generator by the dump truck finally, but I feel like that one should have come in a while ago, Andrew, as it's really just not looking like it was worth it to let Excise die.
Like even second stage, Pedro wasn't heavily camping, like kind of proxy camping a little bit, but there was room to get around there. I agree. It's almost like the call was, okay, the down came in. I didn't even think the down came in that fast, but the down came in. Let's get gen progress. But then they forgot the second half. The gen progress just didn't come in. As far as gen splits go, though, Pryon, we've got sort of the two deep pockets on it. It's almost like a straight line across the map. We got the two deep pockets. We've got the shack pallet, and then we have the one on this side. So obviously there's a bit of a closer 3-gen here. You're not going to be able to fastball.
Claro, no le va a dejar hacer fastball porque si hace medio un bolt le coge de la pechera.
Well, you're going to get grabbed. I'm afraid Swatter's going to go down again.
He was looking for he was trying to just use the bottle on Swatter to get.
Muy bien aquí, Pedro. Hizo con un cuerpo a la ventana y a la otra botella morada aquí cagada del Swatter de proteger a su compañero. Debe haber sido al contrario. Swatter protegerse a sí mismo.
Around him and hit the healthy survivor, but just decided that it didn't matter, and he would rather just tunnel Swatter, because I mean obviously there's not going to be any decisive strike in this clown set. And he's carrying him pretty far, isn't he?
Well, I think that Pedro is aware that this is the generator that has progress. Oh, goodness, but doesn't make it.
Pensé que llegaba, pero claro, con la botella amarilla hubiese llegado. Fijaros, no se ha lanzado botella amarilla, pues.
So, that's a pretty big thing. I think you leave this and you go, yeah, we're
gonna
go chase Hardwell, which was. Listen to that generator cranking. Yeah, we're gonna put down now again. I had to put out again. Dragon's Grip. What has it done for us this entire match? The tiniest bit of value we may have got is, like you said earlier, when Excise was on hook, somebody tapped it and they weren't able to get the unhook. They could not have gone in and got the unhook. But other than that, it hasn't got us any value yet.
It's very rare to see players of this caliber misjudge how far they can carry a survivor. I'm not really sure what he was going for. Was maybe that was his closest pain res. Not exactly sure, but the Dragon's Grip going to be activating on Bubbo here, and Pedro immediately going to be going over to try to get this.
Que vino hace los swing gestos, los hace perfectos, hijo de puta, En plan, lo tiene mega medido, tío, clavado.
Exposed down and he swings through the pallet.
Porque es un swing como no es ni cortito ni largo, es un swing medio.
Again, he gets it. And there's your Dragon's Grip value, Andrew.
All right, I'll shut up. All right. I mean, that was wild. Considering they knew that it had been kicked, sending the one healthy survivor. I mean, it's one hit down no matter what. But sending your healthy survivor, that's 2 hits, right? Like, you just gave up 2 hits for one. Almost like you're looking at, like, health states as a resource. So, Bubbo is going to take first hook. That will be, I believe that's the last painter, is based on where that hook came in. Yes, it is. And we're inching closer and closer to the 4K2 territory here, Brian.
Yeah, could Clown be the next doctor here for Season 10? With the insane 4K results from an M1 kill.
Es que se va a todos los 50-50. Qué locura, tío.
As Hardwell gonna just go down at the 50-50, and he's gonna be slugged on the ground here as Pedro thinks that he would like to go right back to the hook.
No creo que reparen un motor más, no lo creo.
Keeping up the pressure here, and honestly, I mean, with resources gone from the map, Clown can end these chases pretty quickly. So it's all going to come down to where these
What the fuck, la botella esa se ha parecido.
survivors choose to go. And yeah, this pallet right here is definitely one that you want to just kick, get out of the way. Now,
Ahí nada, botella, lo dejas encerradito, rompes, y después te caes.
I mean, Swatter is zoned into the corner. It's going to be a down, quick down there, and Bubbo able to pick Hardwell up in the distance.
Bubo acaba de curar a Hardwell.
Time is slipping away for the Ariandel survivors here. It doesn't really seem like they're going to be able to finish the generators, let alone even a fourth generator. And this is
Mira el motor, estaba casi a la mitad.
truly looking to be a ridiculous result for the Clown. Never what you would expect from a basic M1 killer in DBD League.
No, very, very wild. And I mean, you know, like maybe I've been so caught up in the action I haven't noticed. I mean, this is kind of a dead zone here. I'm trying to look at the RNG a little bit, like what led to this situation. But I don't really think that anything really led to the situation other than just that lack of gen progress when we needed it. I think that's the key. I think if you're going to let somebody go to second, you need 3 gens to pop. And it also depends on the killer. The killer has to...
Error.
It looks like Bubba's going to go down here for a second.
Ahí tiene que haber aguantado en el pared. Aguantar y jugártelas.
It depends on the
Pero si te vas a estar muerto.
killer really heavily camping too. If the killer's camping and you crank gens, okay, fine, get 3 gens done for an extra hook state. You got two hook states and you got 3
Cuando encuentres Swatter, lo matará y ya está. Y estará ganando.
gens done. While they finish the tunnel out, you get your 4th gen done. Now you're 3v1 with 1 gen left. Like that's reasonable strategy, but 2 gens was not enough, and Pedro wasn't really camping, so I think that there was room for...
Es que también mientras estás en otro payaso, sabes que vas a caer.
There was definitely
No se va a hacer nada.
room for an unhook there. Now, we do see the locker up by Swatter. Is that going to be enough for Hardwell to get one of these generators done? I think it's the deep gen sort of behind us right now.
Ya está.
This one over here, nope, okay. Wow, that's not good.
Acaba de curar a Bubo, así que está en la otra parte del mapa.
And that's exactly what Pedro wants. That's why he's slugging. Is that when he goes for somebody that he can actually hook, he wants that 3rd survivor to be forced to go for the pickup. So no generator progress is going to be coming in there for Ariandel. So now just Bubbo and Hardwell here, the only survivors left standing. They need to finish one of these
No se la juega ni un poco, Vaya, vea un superviviente.
generators to have any sort of chance here in the return set. Is honestly, Andrew, the Clown is not really that strong of a killer. You can't expect this kind of result every game.
Mirad que bien, si hubiese ido por Bubo, Hardwell le termina el motor.
No, and I mean, we saw this in the first round of this set, this matchup with Nightlight's Artist. We had a 4K2, and then we found iPick for Ariandel just was not able to have it. Like that first chase was not the bad. It wasn't bad, but it was standard, and Nightlight did exceptional. And standard versus exceptional, standard loses, and it also puts a lot of...
F aquí, depende, muy lejos.
They got that generator done!
That's honestly impressive from these survivors. That's something that they can feel good about going into the next one. And
Aquí se ha confiado, sin duda.
Wow.
yeah, so they must have been stealthing near that generator, and then the yeah, I can't believe they were able to finish that. And
I lost my train of thought. Like I'm blown away. I thought I was
Es que bien lo hace en el... O sea, en el... Perdón, Pedro. Lo hace brutal, no puedes hacer nada, O sea...
literally like talking like it was the end of the match.
yeah, Pedro wasn't able to finish, or he wasn't able to check that whole area
Ya
for any
está.
stealthing survivors.
Pero otro trapetados.
Firecracker gonna come in from Bubba. Nowhere near about this 4K1, even though this set should be out, Andrew. So
For sure.
still a very good result for Invictus.
That's I definitely. I mean, you saw Bubble coming in, looking, trying to get the strong.
Hasta luego.
I don't want pretty strong generator pops. My goodness.
Vale, pues 4K y no, un motorcete. Qué pena ese último motor. Con 2 motores estaría la partida muy ganada, pero con un motor todavía hay que ganar la vuelta. Vale, 1.57.28. Pasado. Pues claro, chavales, soy Dios. Vale, interacción corrupta, y a mí interacción corrupta en este mapa no me gusta demasiado. Un mapa muy circular, estilo cebolla, no me gusta, sinceramente. Y las tres packs muy buenas. Magra el dragón, tú has dado mucha más presión y algún one shot importante. Y este es el addon de tener, cuando tienes habilidad, tengas más tiempo, si no recuerdo mal, y entorpecimiento. Se lleva un poquito ayuda para la botella amarilla y algo de ayuda para la botella morada.
And we are crossing. We do see corrupt intervention this time, though, so similar build to last time, except we are
No es más velocidad, si os fijáis, es un 13. Antes era un 10 y ahora es un 13, o sea, más velocidad.
seeing that Dragon's Grip, and I kind of prefer this personally. We did get the Dragon's Grip, so I can stop talking smack about it, but I like this. I think this is a more consistent build here, so.
It did. The Dragon's Grip did work once, but I think the Corrupt is just better overall. As first yellow or pink bottle going to be landing on a Spitz and going to be chasing over here to this jungle gym. It looks like no, he actually sees Dan rotating in the distance, and this is going to be a first hit for free.
Aquí era un sitio que no había nada literalmente, pero bueno, no quería molestar a su compañero Spitz.
So maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there from Invictus about who was rotating where and when. Dan going up on the hill now, surely with the balance landing. Yeah, gonna make some distance there.
Prime example of exactly what you asked me. Who do you chase? Well, it looked like we were chasing, and was it Spitz? We looked like we were chasing in that tile, throw the bottle at the tile, and then see Dan crossing over to an empty dead zone there with no pallet, so take the easy hit was what it was. Interesting to point out, Shaq Gen is cranking away in a Records Yard competitive match. Good swing through the pallet. Hey, my goodness, well played there. We got an injury on Nightlight.
Nightlight tasting it through the pallet there. That can't feel good for Invictus.
that Shaq Gen is cranking away. Shaq Gen is very important in this match. It's hard to get done, but if you manage to get it done, you really take a lot of the 3-gen potential away from the killer.
So Nightlight here chasing all the way back into this pocket area. He's got one edge map pallet here. Now this pallet isn't the greatest, but it does have a lot of room for outplays here. As Bubbo trying to mind game here. Nightlight not falling for it though, just holding W around the pallet. Gotta go for the vault here though because of the hinder. Not going to make it. As Eruption landing onto that Shaq Gen. Goes for the pickup with the yellow bottle haste. Looking for a pain resonance here, and that is not enough progress on Shaq Gen for it to be finished. They do have pretty decent progress on a different gen with Spitz. That one was just hit by pain resonance. As long as they don't do what they did last match and just let the first person on hook die, they should be still looking pretty good here.
I'm absolutely losing my mind, Prion. Bubba downs Nightlight, picks up right next to a wall, facing in the Have these killers not paid attention to what has happened in these matches? Pallet saves, flashlight saves have totally changed. Looking directly, I mean, Spitz has the flashlight. It's not like Nightlight had the flashlight. Spitz has the flashlight. Spitz wasn't in the neighborhood. If they had been, that was a free flashlight save. I am losing my mind. We do see a gen pop here. But I don't know. Am I crazy? Does Bubbo just have awareness that I don't have? That maybe they thought they were definitely 100% safe? Because that looked like a crazy pickup.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for there to be a save coming in while they're trying to like get out ahead on generator progress, but in general, I think you are right that Bubbo should probably look at wall.
Well, like, the wall was right there, you know what I mean? Like, that's my point, is like, yeah, sure, Spitz shouldn't be there, but you're standing next to a wall, and it's like you're walking through glass on the ground, and you take your shoes off. Right? Just like, keep your shoes on! What are you doing? Anyways, weird analogy, but there we go. Gonna see the second down on Nightlight.
Yeah, interesting pathing there from Nightlight. Vault directly into the waiting arms of Bubbo, as maybe he got confused by the bottle placement there. As that's going to be a second generator being completed, and that wasn't the Shaq Gen there, which has quite a lot of progress. So looking pretty good for Invictus here. Bubbo can only lose one more generator, isn't that right, Andrew? The win con is 4K2, as he's going to be going for the tunnel out onto Nightlight here, but surely he's going to be losing the Shaq Gen for this, as he didn't even have time to place Eruption down onto it.
Yeah, and I think one of the pain reses, I think the pain res didn't hit Shack Gen, so I think that it's only the 2, but that was Shack Gen popping right there, right?
No está.
Yeah, it was. So that's it. That's Shack
Por el motor que va a ganar,
Gen
yo
gone.
creo.
So
Ah, ya está, no he dicho nada.
we have to get the 4K now, otherwise the best Ariandel can
El motor de Sax, ya está.
do in this matchup today against Invictus is tie. We do see Nightlight gone. We're getting into the 3v1. A tie is better than a loss here, though. A tie is better than a loss,
Well,
because a tie.
if Ariandel is able to tie this set, then the nurse set would end up being the decider. So 4K1 is still a
Sorry, you're correct.
okay win condition for
Para mover los motores, los variantes.
Bubbo. I mean, it's a tie condition, but it keeps them in the win condition for the whole series.
Right.
But still, both of those are going to be a tall task for Bubbo here. 3 survivors alive, and none of them with any hook stages on them, no injuries whatsoever, and now he's going to have to chase Spitz at a jungle gem that still has the pallet.
Not a bad setup for these gens, but not great. Like, you could see a world where if you had some injuries on the board, you'd have a bit of a 3-gen here. One injury comes in.
Abandona Chis, ahora abandona Chis, que si no adiós.
But you gotta imagine the survivors are aware of the generators. The last one, the 4th gen does pop, so Wind is gone.
La alumbra donde va a caer.
And it was the gen not in the quote-unquote, it's not much of a 3-gen, but I'm trying to look on the best case scenario. There is the connecting gen down by the buses over here, by the hill. So this is sort of the best gen.
Ahí ha fallado, quitas el generador.
That's the most gen progress they have, is 25% at this point.
Yep, it is pretty far away though, and very smart play here from whoever is in that locker. You definitely need to be getting the save safely here. You don't want to let Bubbo snowball any pressure. If he was able to find the potential unhooker here, that would be really bad for Invictus. As Dan now taking chase, yeah, in the corner of the map with no resources gone from it. This is the first chase that has happened here. So Dan gonna be getting hit and hindered up there. Now probably just going corner. No, he's actually gonna continue going around this little loop.
Overthrowing the bottles here.
Yeah, now we're gonna be going corner. Just Bubbo kind of missing the bottles there, and looks like Spitz and Pedro not opting to heal just yet. They might be doubling that generator, Andrew, and that would be why Bubbo is not picking up, even though he might have a pain res on Dan.
I was gonna say, I wonder if this is because of our spawns for the pain res. I haven't been paying attention to where the pain res came in. I know one was down. Nightlights was down here.
And he's going all the way out over here onto the side, not to the generators. He's definitely trying to find the person that would be kind of stealthing to go for the pickup.
Gonna apply Eruption on that generator. Dan does get picked up.
Muy bien aquí, deja el tío slugueado, se pega la pata, va a tener opción preparada, bien hecho.
So interesting heads-up play from Bubbo. Doesn't end up finding them, but is aware sort of what the plan would be. Pedro's creeping, and Spitz was in this corner by the generator. They were potentially doubling up there.
Really crazy perk choice there from Spitz. As Dan is going to go down, I just want to mention that Spitz has Blood Pact.
Se lo está merendando en Chase.
Which, like, I feel like I've never seen actually activate in a competitive match.
Blood Pact for slugs? Slug pickups, I guess? Maybe?
Yeah, if you think about it, picking up a slug with Blood Pact would activate the haste, and then that would actually cancel out most of a clown bottle. But Pedro here, this is a high stakes save here. Dan on his first hook, and it looks like Bubbo not going to be there in time, but now he knows that somebody was stealthing for that save. It's going to be Spitz here, injured working this gen. Now, is he going to get found, or can he successfully stealth? No. A little bit too greedy working on the gen there. He is going to make it to this pallet, but this is all he...
Es que los frikis se los comen todos, porque es muy difícil no comerse, pero yo me los comería todos literalmente.
He has, and he's just going to get called out there.
Tiene unos reflejos literalmente de, no sé, de piloto de caza, literalmente.
On the greed. Spit's gonna go down
I'm
under the
loving these
pallet.
swing through the pallets. These swing through the pallets, like they're my favorite plays. I love it. We've seen so many of them in this matchup, and they just keep coming through, and I'm loving it all. I think Bubbo now feels safe. We slugged Dan the first time, but now understands. It was one of those, like, I haven't seen them in a while. Where are they? They unhooked? They didn't heal? What are they doing? Now we kind of know the gen progress, so we're kind of a little bit more comfortable. But keep in mind, too, we are rocking sloppy
Cuidado, como pilla Space y se lo cargue, va a haber empate.
Butcher here. So heals are going to take forever. So the fact that they didn't heal is not unexpected, I would say, as well.
Yeah, and that's making it that much more important that Pedro stays healthy here as he continues to go for these saves.
Boom, de frente, boom, y petardito, para cerrar.
And that's actually going to be a head-on from Pedro, trying to buy some time here with the firecracker as well, trying to just get Bubbo off of those injured teammates. And it's going to at least succeed in buying a few seconds for the squad.
I like that boomerang play, the head out, come back, but decides against it. Knows exactly what Dan has been doing. The comm comes in that Dan is running, that Bubbo's on the way, so Dan runs over to this corner. I don't think there's going to be enough time for them to get that generator done unless we see some heavy Z-wall juice in here. No such luck this time. Do we take this hook or do we go? I think we're going to reload it.
Se fue ahí para que recogiese del pescuezo, ¿vale? Pero aquí muy inteligente, solo le pego un M1 y ya está.
Zoom back across the map.
El único que va a colgar va a ser a Dan y a Pedro, no le interesa.
I think we have
There's
time.
a lot of progress here. Spitz is going to be the one stealthing for the pickup here. There's no way that Pedro has enough time to finish this generator, but he definitely has enough time to try to stealth. And Pedro needs to stay healthy here. If he gets found and injured, yeah, just a tiny amount of scratch marks there. Pedro, if you get found here, it is probably going to be game over for your team. So he's walking around the outside of the tile here. Kicking the generator is going to be Bubbo, as he is successfully going to stealth here, but actually Bubbo still suspicious that somebody is nearby, and now Pedro is going to get found there, just a little bit too eager to get back on the generator, and it's going to cost him a health state for sure here, Andrew, unless he can have the chase of his life and just deny every hit.
We might be seeing the end of kicks on that generator, though. We've kicked it several times, and we've had several eruptions go off too. We are running out of regression events there. While this chase is going on, we do see Spitz and Dan cranking that other gen. They got it about 60% right now.
And Pedro pathing back towards that generator that was being worked is going to tell Bubbo exactly what's going on here. 60% just about on this generator over by the other side. And now we're going to have Pedro right back on that other generator at the other side. So there is still a pallet gem pallet here. Not going to get the fast vault is Dan. And Bubbo here, he needs to get this down very quickly here. He's got one more pain res left, and I believe it is on Dan because he's been slugged so much.
It's actually it's on. I believe Pedro is fresh. I think Dan got on the first one, and
but the gen is
Ha ido por Dan, pero la mayoría de por Spitz que también estaría en la misma posición y le hacen el motor.
off. Yeah, there we go. So that is going to be the win for Invictus. They're going to get the gens done. Probably see some
Buah, brutal. La misma técnica que antes se la ha comido, ahora pum.
outs. That's pretty funny. No head
Pero bueno, igualmente han ganado, ¿vale? Han hecho 5 motores.
on. No second head on for you, Pedro. All right, we are going
Exactamente, no dos de
to
frente.
see the hook come in here.
That
But
was,
that's going to be some outs.
Bueno, para estadísticas, pero sin más. Gana Invictus.
honestly very clean play from Invictus. That was a situation where one mistake would have resulted in them being 4 on the floor, and the way that they just continued rotating back and forth to
Se va a hacer 2, 3, 6, 9.
get those pickups. There, it's 2-1.
Vale, pues ahí está. 9 colguecitos y no, muy bien, los supervivientes se han jugado muy bien. Bobo ha jugado súper bien. Yo diría que más o menos igual que Pedro, se han jugado los dos de Clear muy bien, pero los supervivientes de Invictus han jugado mejor. Las cosas como son un poquito mejor han jugado. Así que merecía victoria. Vale, y ya última partida, chicos. Última partida será o victoria para Invictus o empate. Así que veremos a ver qué tal. O un 3-1 o un 2-2. Un poquito atrás.
No, I wouldn't say you're lowballing here.
Enfermedad, ¿habéis visto?
With these players, 4K1 is usually expected.
Palenar, para mí, vamos, yo creo que diría que es la segunda mejor enfermedad del mundo, ¿vale? Para mí el primero es Nightlight y el segundo Palenar, o sea, es una bestia.
But as we just, I mean,
Va con una donde ser, cuando pegas un hit, volverte sin rayo de terror y tener la aceleración en el otro lado, luz que agoniza, me voy a preparar enfermedad, que es un killer que hace los juegos muy rápido. Pimpa como erupción, las dos juntas van de perlas, gancho flagante lo tiene baneado, ¿vale? La enfermedad de intervención corta. Muy bien, entonces recargo.
we get further and further into the life cycle of competitive Dead by Daylight at all. Survivors just get better and better, and it's definitely not unheard of now to have outs on Nurse Coal Tower.
Very fair. Gen split is pretty standard. We got 3 up, you know, the deep corners and main building. They have that middle generator there. A little bit of an unfortunate fallen art there. Does sort of get caught up on the barrel there. And
El panel del sac lo tiran para que la enfermedad no pueda ir dentro del sac. O sea, la enfermedad va dentro del sac, te va a dar un hit sumamente fácil.
doesn't get the full blink to take the hit on Spitz and decides to leave and go back there. We actually have 2 sort of middle gens here, 2 by Shaq and 3 up top. So sort of 5 gens on the main building side of the map. So that's pretty strong setup. This one here is not too deep as well.
Yeah, and survivors so far are doing a pretty good job of
Se ha pasado mucho,
staying away from the nurse, getting good
Hostia, pero ha corregido muy bien.
distance here. That's
Aunque Pedro se lo ha facilitado, pero el primer TP ha sido mal.
going to be the first hit coming in onto Pedro. Accidentally runs into the killer a little bit there, as a second set of blinks going to be following up here. Pedro to the edge map, doubles back.
Muy buenas. En las esquinas esas le hacen un counter a la enfermedad porque no pueden traspasar el muro exterior, ¿vale? No pueden tener que ir a la esquina, sí o sí. Entonces eso puede venir muy de ayuda.
And is just
Pero para nada brutal.
barely going to go down there. That was good pathing around the edge of the map there. Pedro has the knowledge that the nurse cannot phase through the edge map, but just barely going to get hit by the tip of that attack. It's going to result in the
Están haciendo el mismo motor los tres.
first gen being done though, and they're tripling this, Andrew.
Esto es muy raro de ver.
I don't hate it. It is the middlemost gen. The gen that Pedro was on, sort of like the middle gen, but to the, you know, on the right side of the map, on the side of the map, was a little bit more secluded. It had a little bit more like tiles to hide in. But this generator here, look, it's no man's land. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. Even if there was a pallet, it's
Pues menos mal que lo han hecho porque si no lo llegan a hacer, le meten bam pum y ese motor ya está jodido.
Nurse. You know, pallets don't really do a whole lot against Nurse. So I don't hate that move. It is 1 gen for 1 hook, but against Nurse, I think it's a pretty smart move. I really want to go back a few seconds there. Fallen Art had a couple missed blinks at the very beginning there, chasing Spitz down near Shaq, but really nice
Este bam pum es malo.
reaction to Pedro's double back and did the old look down blink to blink in place and
Me encanta el to-
get the first hit, and then quickly followed up with the second hit. So seeing some nice things there. We are trying to get a little bit more of the generators done.
Toda una enfermedad es aburrido al inicio, ¿vale? Siempre trata sobre pillar primero muy rápido, segundo stage, túnel y ya luego empieza la partida de verdad. Ya siempre es igual.
Up the top side, because it looks like the
Es lo único que no me gusta del competitivo, que el principio, por lo general, es muy aburrido. Muy, muy aburrido.
survivors have identified
Conforme hay un motor o dos en plan vivos, ahí es cuando empieza lo divertido.
the fact that the main building generators are the sort of the tightest group of gens. Very important
Le ha olido.
stealth here, and Dan does run, and we're gonna see it. Oh no!
¿Cómo ha fallado eso, Fallenart? Ay, Dios mío, de mi amor bendito, parecía que estoy viendo un killer de la Buggy Liga. Hola, Fallenart, tío, tú no me puedes fallar eso.
No!
Cagada gigantesca,
We're
eh.
making a free underhook.
Disaster for falling
Hace mucho no veía una cagada así en la DBDLEAGUE.
on art. The unhook is going to be free here.
Claro, la va a meter en túnel, obviamente.
And actually, Fallen Art is just going to not even try to hit the unhooker. Instead, going to be going for the 2-tap here onto Pedro. This blink is critical right here. This decides whether the deliverance is charged
Qué bien, Pedro.
or not. And Pedro's pathing is insane, able to confuse the nurse and make it back around the shack. And surely now the deliverance will be charged for Dan as Pedro goes edge map and is going to die. But I think that pathing there would have definitely allowed the deliverance enough time to charge for Dan.
By far. And can we talk about that miss again? That's so unfortunate for our killer. If you that was a 1 blink on Dan. If you 1 blink, they run over, you slug Dan, then you continue the chase on Pedro. Like, then the survivors are in a really, really bad position. And as you see, Dan is our deliverance, but does not have unbreakable. So,
he doesn't plot twist, though.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. That is a good point. I do like that Fallen Art did just tag Pedro, but unfortunately they blinked early, and in the blinking early, they needed to double blink to get that borrowed time hit on that endurance hit on Pedro, which gave a longer recharge and therefore gave Pedro the chance to make it to Shaq instead of just one blinking them. So couple missteps here from our killer, and the survivors have cracked the 3rd gen, and there's not really a 3 gen to speak of anymore. Kind of a I guess down this end of the map is a little bit of a 3 gen, but it's pretty wide.
No sé si van a poder rescatar,
Yeah, and what we're
Pues sí que han podido.
seeing here is the way that I was just saying that
Aquí Fahrenheit está fallando mucho los campeos, muchísimo. Si pierde la partida van a hacer por los campeos de mierda que están haciendo.
teams have kind of just gotten better on this nurse set. And Dan, with a devious body block right there, actually possibly forcing the... Yeah, he's going to use the plot twist and force...
Se ha tirado al suelo y en plan, oye, porque está en el suelo Dan. Sí, se ha tirado al suelo para que le coja y que Pedro se escape.
Fallen Art to pick him up with the deliverance
Muy bien.
charged. And that is one of the many uses of plot twist in this set, Andrew. It's a really perk that you can use very creatively. Multiple things you can do. And Dan here is not only going to force the use of his deliverance, he's also going to allow Pedro, the tunnel out, to escape for free.
No, erupción. Tenía que esperar un poquito de erupción. Está jugando muy desconcentrado este chico, me parece. Muy desconcentrado. O sea, que falta un poquito y le metes el pop.
I don't know if I like the not going for Pedro there. Dan's going to instantly deli, I'm pretty sure, as soon as we get away.
Está muy desconcentrado.
Or maybe not.
O nervioso.
They were just flexing their arms there. I don't like that play at all. I think you ignore Dan and you go for Pedro. The body block was there, but you tag Pedro, you'd see the scratch marks running away, and you could just go chase after it. But instead now Pedro's got free. If they get healed, this is going to be pretty devastating for Fallen Art. We might be looking at some outs here. Pedro has run all the way up to main building, and oh my
Vale, se va a curar aquí el señor Pedro.
goodness, look at the perk.
Yeah, he's going to get the inner strength. It's exactly where he wants to be and be able to heal himself with no help. It's going to be Kexo taking a hit on the edge map. Really doesn't care about this.
63 segundos. Literal, o sea, mira.
Yeah, he's going to get the inner strength here on the totem and be
35.
able to heal himself with no help. It's going to be Kexo taking a hit on the edge map. Really doesn't care about
Bueno, 6 segundos.
this though. He will just go corner. It's exactly where he wants to be, far away from the majority of the generators. And now, with the undetectable status effect, Fallen Art probably checking to see if he can surprise anybody here, or maybe just going back to his generators. Probably all he can do here, as Pedro in the locker, gonna get healed up
Yo lo he colgado porque es más una cara luz que agoniza y tienes el pop, pero bueno.
by that perk. And now, I mean, with the balanced landing, he's gonna be the perfect survivor to work on this faraway generator once he picks up Kexo. So plot twist here from Dan. Plot twist tenacity.
Strong plot twist tenacity. I also like great timing on Dan. Dan is still broken, so Dan is not actually able to pick. Well, I mean, if you picked himself up using plot twist right now, it would leave him still injured. I believe. I've never actually tested that, but I would assume that's the way it works.
You are correct. He's waiting to use tenacity to get all the way to the other side of the map before he picks himself up.
Yeah, and then you see Dan picked up, and so now we've got an injury
Vale, Dan ya ha utilizado la per de caerte y levantarte de curado.
on Kexo, who did not get hooked. We left them slugged. Pedro full health, Dan full health, and our killer's in dire straits right now. Again, still nurse, so still anything can happen. That 3-gen down the Shack side is still potentially playable, but we need a lot of pressure really quickly for this to turn around. We haven't talked about it. We do have Dying Light, and seeing as Spitz has not yet been hooked, we're getting a little bit of slowdown on the generators, but I mean, it's not going to change a 4v1 too much, I don't think.
No, especially not with only 3 stacks. As a Fallen Art, he seems to think somebody is stealthing here, and he is correct.
Muy bien, aquí Fallen.
That is going to be Dan here with the overcome, and he is just going to be gone towards the top side of the map. Now still on the edge map here. Blinks coming in from Fallen Art. Dan, nice pathing around that edge map.
Estos partidos son muy buenos contra la enfermera.
Geometry, going to confuse the killer, and that is exactly how you run a nurse on the edge map, guys.
Se la ha jugado, pero no se le dio bien.
You guys at home are having trouble playing against the nurse. Just watch what Dan did right there. You go to the edge map and you play around that little weird geometry. That against other killers, it really doesn't matter, does it? But against nurse, it can seriously mess her up, as the 4th generator is going to be completed, and now the little triangle that Fallen Art may have once had is gone.
It's interesting too when you're talking about that, those edge maps. The rocks are all differently shaped as well, and it's very easy if you don't have the right muscle memory. It's very easy to short blink and not like you short the blink too much and you don't blink through, or you over blink and you hit the edge wall and it won't let you blink as well. So very easy. We do find Pedro. Pedro dying here would not be as bad as it would have been 5 minutes ago, but it could definitely have a bit of a turning point for our killer. But we're just gonna leave it. Pedro hops in a locker and instantly heals again using inner healing. Inner strength? I honestly forget which one it is. Is it inner healing?
Inner strength is the licensed version.
Inner strength.
Just came back.
Sí, fuerza interior es muy buena. Si os habéis visto en los totems es muy buena.
Thank you. My bad.
So Fallen Art here is really, yeah, Kexo here on the edge map. Fallen Art is definitely feeling the game slip away here, as 4 survivors are healthy, only 1 generator to go, and
error aquí de frenar. Está teniendo fallos bastante gordos.
Kexo going to
Aquí no me puedes fallar tampoco.
just dodge around that hit, just premature on the blinks there. And you know what I always say, Andrew, is that the strongest tile against Nurse is Macmillan Estate Edge Map Rock. And I'm not kidding.
Es que no me puedes fallar ahí, no me puedes fallar ahí.
That is not a joke. I'm completely serious.
Well, again, because if you miss like you can I think Kexo flared out there a little bit, just avoided the hit. Again, if you under blink by an inch, it's gonna eat your blink and you're not gonna go anywhere. Where the last gen does pop, Kexo is a fresh hook, but I mean we're at 4 hooks right now. This is not looking super hot. Where are these doors?
Entre que los supervivientes han jugado brutal y el killer no ha jugado muy allá, fijaros, el mejor killer del juego solamente escapan 3 supervivientes, ¿vale?
Doors are not the worst, but also not great for the killer here. There's one over there behind the main building, and other one is over towards the bottom.
Por esto digo que en competitivo nuevamente los survivors están más fuertes que el killer. Por partidos como este.
Side of the map, but not as bad as it could be for the killer. If you are Fallen Art here, you really want to find Spitz. Spitz hasn't been hooked at all, and that's going to be somebody that you don't really care about there on that door. They are looking like they're going to be going for the save here on Kexo, who's fresh.
No llegas. Y te retrolanzan en tu cara.
Just not going to have the distance there to hit Dan again. Just over blinking on the first one.
Pensé que sí,
When going through the wall.
This is gonna be, they're gonna save because
Dan has tenacity here, that's why he's going to be taking it down.
oh, that's right, yeah. And
Hook on him, so this should be a death.
No sé por qué se ha entregado Dan, porque así ha sumado un cuelgue extra, pero bueno. Pues serán 3 y 2, 5, 6 cuelgues.
And this is not looking good, Nurse Coal Tower.
6 cuelguecitos, pues ahí tenéis 6 cuelguecitos con una enfermera, o sea, wow. Vale, y ya, bueno, esto tiene pinta de que se va a llevar Invictus, porque 6 cuelgues con enfermera es muy poco, así que...
wait a second.
Vale, ya. Vale, lleva Inmortal a secas. Madre mía, tu mecánica es en highlight, ¿no? Simplemente para ver auras con los totems. No sé, un poco raro, la verdad. Yo habría llevado Ruina. Y en plan, pero bueno, Pimpa por erupción está muy bien, pero el Inmortal será muy rara. O Espías de las sombras, no sé. Bastante rara. Y lleva el lado de tener vocación de enfermera en plan a corta distancia y el mismo de antes de perder radio terror cuando pega su hit tras el TP.
Gonna be undying value there.
Build. Yeah, undying with no other
A ver, acaba de dar la aura de uno, las cosas como son. Nada más en la partida, Immortal ya funciona.
No
totem build just for the aura reading.
No hex. People are definitely going to be making fun of Nightlight for this in his stream, but I can definitely see the vision,
I
honestly.
see it. Yeah, I definitely get it. A couple of reasons why. You're not really looking for totems if
Mal primer TP.
Ruin's not cranking away, right? And
Si lo hubiese tirado justo aquí, habría tenido buena visión.
secondly, yeah, it's just that aura reading. Now, it is important to note the survivors will be aware. The moment their aura is shown, they
Un poquito corto el segundo.
a little bit of a short blink there by Nightlight, and Bubbo is going to make it towards the shack area. That looks like the most obvious totem spawn ever in shack, so it's probably not going to last the maximum, but we did get some value
Brutal.
out of it.
El TP al palet y no das tiempo.
I think there's another survivor here. There's another survivor here.
Look at Bubba with the tenacity here.
Flashlight.
As, nope, no flashlight going to be coming in there, but Bubba with the tenacity is probably why Nightlight's targeting him down here, because I think
Interesante, contra enfermeras se pueden reparar 3 puntos para sacarle un motor lo más, lo más antes posible.
he knows exactly what kind of build Bubba has. I'm honestly quite sure that, yeah, this is the Deliverance survivor gone. So what
Como vaya el motor, F.
a good find from Nightlight there. I think as soon as he saw that overcome come out after the first hit, he immediately tunneled onto Bubbo and wanted to get
Claro, pasa eso.
that first hook.
Este es el problema de reparar 3 puntos. Y como vaya el motor, estoy jodidos.
I don't understand it. Look, I thought that there was another survivor there, but I guess it was just the scratch marks. It looked like Bubble ran past the pallet and then back in. Maybe that's what happened.
Este es un pick-up buenísimo y edición encima.
I thought there was a second survivor there, so I thought we were going to see a pallet save. So.
No llegas, no llegas.
Nightlight is one of those. You know what? I take it back. I was going to say it was shorted the blink on the first one, but you're right. It was the overcome. The overcome was the reason why
Que F. El mortal aquí le ha dado mucha información.
shorted, and that while Nightlight didn't get the hit initially.
Bueno, hasta las enfermeras están no solamente buenas, porque sepáis que Canal tiene con la enfermera 3000 horas mínimo, ¿vale? Mínimo, tirando por lo bajo, solo con la enfermera.
It gave the
Las horas que yo tengo como jugador las tiene como enfermero.
information, and that led to that there. That,
And
that
honestly,
down on.
doesn't really matter if Nightlight misses a
Canal creo que tendrá 13.000 o 14.000 horas, me parece.
few blinks here because
Si no más, si no más.
he's got a survivor in basement that he can go back to at any time. And not only does he have a survivor in basement, he has a survivor in basement that he knows has no anti-tunnel perks.
Yeah, and also knows.
Muy malos suplentes. Ese de reparar todos puntitos, no acabarlo, bubo en el sack. Ya está, yo ya. Fijaros cómo esta partida ya es GG's. O sea, me refiero, ya va a sumar más de 6
But
goles.
no one can really bomb and trade without it being an actual trade, because again, you have to assume that they're the deli. Nightlight is 99% sure right now that the deli is off the table.
Bubo lleva el segundo colgue.
You see
So
eruption go
Bubbo-
down.
Going to go to second stage there, and that is really bad for Ariandel here. Because now, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave him until the last second, allow Nightlight to keep camping this? But if you pull him now,
Y mucho cuidado contra enfermera porque puede ir directamente abajo desde con un TP, así que mucho cuidado.
Nightlight's just going to tunnel him out. So, and more
Fijaros por el tótem, qué brutal.
undying
More
value coming
value.
out for Nightlight.
Yo estoy flipando, ¿verdad? Con el Nine y la ult que se saca y le funciona, tío. El inmortal solo le está funcionando.
I think he already had an idea that somebody was there, but the Undying just seals the deal for him, dodging the
Brutal.
firecracker there
Mecánicamente está jugando perfecto.
during the blink. Very nice mechanical
And we
play
know
from
where all our
Nightlight there,
survivors
and now
are.
he knows where everyone is.
Wow, this is a four. I mean, like,
Y ya está, ya estos 4 cabales, que lo sepáis, chicos.
again, I don't like to count anybody out, but this is exactly where you want to be as Nightlight. This is looking like it's not going to be a close nurse game. Bubba
El motor se lo hacen, pero Bubo muere en el gancho, así que sale muy a cuenta.
is probably dead. I don't see a world where Bubble can get out of basement. We have eyes on
Es que juega perfecto. Es que cuando una frena juega tan perfecto no se puede hacer nada.
Hardwell. Hardwell's gonna take the
Hardwell
hit, but
here.
Hardwell doesn't make it to basement here in time.
He
You
doesn't
can
make
blink
the
right
stall.
in. No. Well,
Dios, qué pocos. Hostias, pues ya está allí.
oh, so close, almost. Okay, yeah, that's
Qué pedazo de pocos, tú.
gonna be all she wrote. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
It's going to be 3 stages onto Bubbo, 1 on
Como mucho creo que harán un motor más y ya está, chicos. Que lo sepáis.
Swatter, 1 on Hardwell, and a single hook onto La Magic will be the win for Nightlight.
Yeah. Or frankly, any other hook in a face camp. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think that we're gonna see that from Nightlight. I'm pretty sure Nightlight's gonna close this out with a really good win condition, but there's not a lot of
Date por jodido, Le Magic.
it's not gonna take a lot more to end this game for Nightlight here.
Es que lo hace perfecto. Es que lo hace perfecto, totalmente.
Really unfortunate
Very
that
nice.
the Delhi survivor got found first. It's always a risk. And the trouble
Muy bien aquí le Magic.
is too is if you try and play it, as survivor, if you try and play it like coming in, taking a hit, trying to take chase, you make it even more clear that you're on the Delhi survivor, and the nurse will definitely not give any space for them. So.
Claro, los faltas está haciendo un motor más para el puntuaje, pero vamos.
Yep, and that is going to be the down onto Le Magic here, as Nightlight actually just going to slug him on the ground. 4K3, looking up toward the main building where Swatter is, and he's going to find...
Se rinden, obviamente, se rinden. O sea, qué paliza. Qué paliza, tío. Santa María bendita. Vamos a ver cómo mueren todos. Y...
Me.
Ahí está. Qué paliza. Hola, palizón. O sea, de verdad, ha sido un palizón en toda regla. Una enfermedad jugada perfecta. Una perk que le ha funcionado de oros, el inmortal de oros. Y el error, reparar los tres juntos. Reparar los tres juntos. Al principio parece que es lo que se hace, porque se ha hecho en la partida contra Fallen Angel, y se estaba haciendo contra Análisis. Pero contra Fallen Angel, la primera persecución se la ha dado mal, ha tardado en tirar y no ha llegado a proteger el motor. Análisis lo ha tirado muy rápido, ha ido al motor y ya está, partidaza. No llegas a desflorar en el sac y claro, yo una enfermedad jugada perfecta, pues pasan estas cosas que te castigan demasiado duro este tipo de errores. Pues nada, brutal, 3-1 para Invictus. Yo me esperaba más un empate, sinceramente. Me esperaba un empate, un 2-2. Pero nada, se va a la victoria Invictus, así que adelantarán el puesto solamente a Ariandel. Bueno, 100% seguro. Así que nada, nos vemos en el siguiente partidito ya la semana que viene de la DBDLEAGUE. Y el miércoles habrá Bugeliga, chicos. Si subo algún partido más esta semana, pues eso os lleváis. Pero bueno, no prometo nada. Así que nada, muchas gracias por haberlo visto. Y nada, ya me contáis qué os ha parecido el partido. Chau, chau.